It is Friday, May 1st in the United States and Canada. And this is a show called What Chaos from the Sports Interaction Studio in Boston, Massachusetts, site of tonight's Game 6. My name is David Bean. I sit beside Pete Blackburn, and holding it down in the City of Champs is my guy, Sean DePaz. Good morning, Pete. Oh, you could say that again. There will be lots. Fortunately, the audience has responded extremely well to the Maroon 5 / light HBO's Girls run we've been on of late, because you're going to be hearing a lot of Adam Levine's voice today. Pete will be pressing it, but you're going to be... It's in good hands, because I'm probably going to be a little busy being in misery, so to speak.
I was thinking, like, I don't even need to show up to today's episode, because I think it's just going to be a lot of DJ commiserating.
Someone's got to press the buttons.
I was going to say, the reason that I showed up was because somebody's got to push those buttons while DJ eulogizes the Oilers. And so today is going to be a very interesting show. I think I saw a lot of chat about the can't miss. It's going to be a lot of Adam Levine maxing. I also saw somebody say, am I the only one that's had misery stuck in my head all week? The answer is fucking no chance. It's the only thing that has been bouncing around inside the walls of my skull this week. Literally, as we do the show prep, I've just been singing to myself, not even to you, not as a joke, just being like,
oh yeah,
like all fucking week.
But I'm not mad to hear it anytime. I'm still like, I woke up this morning. It took me a little while to get going this morning. I won't lie. I had that took a Klonopin last night, waking up thing, and I famously did not take a Klonopin last night. I just woke up. Maybe it was because I was up all night answering any person who asked me hey, so what happened with the Oilers this year? I'll get into that.
We should make a YouTube video. What happened to the Oilers this year? It would be 45 minutes long.
I was thinking, I could do, because there's certain itches that need to be scratched with different topics that I'm like, you know what? Maybe we'll make something that we could put separately there. Like, for example, someone came at me the other day after we were talking about Taylor Swift, and they were like, hey, I like this lyric from Taylor Swift, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's not for you, but whatever. And I explained, I was like, I don't have I generally like Taylor Swift's music. My issue is that people call it brilliant when it doesn't reinvent the wheel. And they were like, okay, fair play. And I was like, yeah, I should make a little thing that can be somewhere explaining that. And there's been little things hockey-wise that should explain that. And this morning I was like, we should do a video what you would do to fix the Oilers, but we'll keep it off the show and we'll keep that separate. And I realized that I was thinking, we should make a specific hockey video, but we won't put that on the main thing. That will be back burner stuff that we can tuck away while we're hammering Adam Levine and Cardi B in the real episode.
Yeah. I knew things were bad this morning when I woke up at, I think 7:30, and I had a text from DJ at 1:45 a.m. and it was post the Stan Bowman video first thing in the morning.
Oh no, that was just me working.
I know, yeah. But I the fact that was on your mind at 1:45 in the morning means that you're probably in a deep, dark place, and I completely understand.
Run it. And I will say, before we get to today on the show, there's been a little bit of hey, and this not directed at me. I saw someone direct it at Shayna on Twitter last night. Aren't you going to talk about why is it got to be about what's happened to the Oilers this season? Why can't it be about the Ducks playing well? It just can't. It's not going to be we love Jackson Lacombe, and I famously really do like the Ducks. That's what must be frustrating for Oilers fans. I was saying yesterday, because I was really pre-grieving yesterday. I had a bad feeling, and there's no shitheads. There's nobody that you don't like if you're an Oilers fan coming out of that series, other than guys on your own team. But you're not ooh, Trouba did a thing or Gudis did a thing or whatever. Ducks fucking rocked before the series.
They took care of business.
They did their thing. They rock now. Did they get lucky in the first period last night? Yeah, but the Oilers deserved all the bad luck they got. And they did. I was having people saying man, it must be really frustrating. They've been so unlucky this series. Don't fall down 3-1 to the Ducks, and we won't have to talk about being unlucky in the series. That's just my personal thing. I do give credit to the Ducks, and I love the Ducks. But no, the more interesting thing here is not going to be like, hey, the world's finding out Jackson Lacombe's good. If the world was watching hockey and didn't know Jackson Lacombe was good.
Yeah, but he was also the best skater in the series. Like, he was the best skater.
He was the biggest impact player, I would say. Granted, the goalposts were moved a little bit because he was able to shut down like a 55% version of Connor McDavid. But he still would have been awesome against McDavid if McDavid were healthy.
Yeah,
it just wouldn't have been.
This tends to come up during the playoffs. It's like, hey, why do you have to make it about the losing team? It's partially because this is the last time, or one of the last times, that we get to talk about the losing team. I'm sure it's not going to be the last time that we talk about the Oilers. The Oilers are always talking about,
or the Stars. I got a lot of Star shit today, man.
But
so
if it's lighter on the Ducks Wild side, that's probably because we have things to say about them in coming episodes when they're continuing to play. But yeah, the Ducks absolutely deserve to win that series. I'm excited about the Ducks. I don't like to kick a man when he's down unless it's Sean. But
who, by the way, is the only one up right now?
For now. We've got a show to do today. You're correct.
For now and for the next at least 48 hours.
Maybe if you're a points podcast.
But what I'll say is, like, I've gotten to the point in the playoffs where I don't celebrate the teams that are being eliminated. Like, I like the Oilers. I think that they're interesting. Obviously, we've spent so much time talking about how they're a circus. They're fascinating. I'm not like celebrating that they're out. I just do not think that they deserved anything more than what they got in this first round. And I think that it was a deserved wake-up call. And all of the things that we're going to talk about in terms of, like, what the hell do they do from here? Why is the panic button so close to being pressed? That conversation needs to be fucking had. We will get into it with the Stars as well, but just to kind of tip my hand a little bit, I'm not really fucking worried about the Dallas Stars. I am worried about the Edmonton Oilers.
I stopped listening once you said wake up call, and then I began listening to a fucking
Caught
jam.
you in the morning with another one in my bed.
It's bad.
That
song
banger.
So
Don't
good.
you think about me?
I like
Don't
that.
think so.
I just like, I don't know how this became an unironic Maroon 5 stand podcast,
and I
but
thank
here
you
we
for
fucking are.
Thank you for clarifying that. It's unironic.
I was a legit Maroon 5 head growing up. I've seen Maroon 5 in concert. It's one of the few, I would say, maybe not few, but one of the few, like, unanimous music things amongst the three of us.
Yeah.
No, like, I mean, like, I feel like we have
Pete doesn't like that the musicians get up on stage when they win awards and make it political. I know that's really drawn a line in our music.
Yes.
Unless it's
situation.
Kid Rock.
Unless it's, yes. Pete, tell the folks, by the way, who the fuck is Ella
Langley?
Ella, I've been meaning to do that with Stars Talk forever. So it's a Friday episode. Maybe we'll get into that. But what will we for sure get into, Pete? And by for sure, I mean maybe.
My introduction to Ella Langley was Ella's Fellas, which was the Stars.
Yes.
And then I saw that she did stuff with Morgan Wallen, and I was like, oh, bad second thing to find out.
She's the one with the song that gets misheard frequently, correct?
She's misunderstood, is what you're saying?
Is she the
She's
I'm
misunderstood?
choosing Texas? Is she the I'm choosing Texas one?
I have no fucking clue. But that would make sense with the Dallas Stars.
There was a meme running where she has a part of her song. She says, "I'm choosing Texas. I can tell," or something like that, and people mishear it quite frequently as saying other things, and it became like a little bit of a meme type of thing. But I don't know if that's even her.
Today on the show, the Oilers in misery. Oh yeah. Wild and Ducks advance. Oh yeah. Burnouts and freaks. Don't like that. And Steve Peters is going to join. It's a Petey episode. We always love those. Petey got
update. Petey is not able to join us today.
What?
I'm joking.
Sorry.
I'm joking.
Sorry.
Petey will join us.
I thought.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Petey got some real, I would say, international shine this week. John Chayka is the leading candidate for the Toronto Maple Leafs GM job.
Yep.
And so Toronto media is
the
like,
Wendy's financier?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. The franchisee?
Put the fries in the bag.
John Chayka,
Oh no! Oh,
Put
the
the
fact
fries
that
in
you
the
just
bag,
planted
John.
that in my head.
Put the fries in the
I
bag,
cannot
John.
wait for every Maple Leafs loss so I can just yell, "Put the fries in the bag."
Put the
That
fries
is
in the
incredible.
bag.
nice one,
Mr.
Burger
Chayka.
Boy. Put the fries in the bag.
I mean, isn't Keith Pelly or is Keith Pelly the Boston Pizza guy?
I believe. I
Or
know
is
Boston
that
Pizza was
Tree
part of
Living?
this.
There's
Oh,
some
it's Tree Living,
Boston
I believe,
Pizza
yeah.
connection with the
Because I believe they said
Maple
they're
Leafs front
replacing a
office.
pizza guy with a burger guy.
Because they
Matt
just
Patel's a hockey guy.
because they just keep saying like, "Way to go, Pizza Boy! Way to ruin the Toronto Maple
Yeah.
Leafs." I like that they just hired another food guy. That's incredible.
Yeah, I think he's the son of Canadian businessman Jim Tree Living, who is a co-owner of Boston Pizza. But yes, I've seen lots of Toronto fans be very thrilled by the idea that they're going from fast food guy to fast food guy. Better than a soccer guy, I'll say that.
Who's to say?
I was sitting I was waiting to get a parking sticker yesterday in the parking sticker office place where everyone's mean to you. It's like a local DMV type thing. And I had like 15 minutes and I was like, you know what I could do? I could maybe do like a little AMA or whatever. And instead I just thought, and I came up with some thoughts. I texted Tyler, I texted some hockey people, and I said, hey, here's what I'm thinking. And it's ridiculous. But if I am the Edmonton Oilers, and I don't know if it's Knobloch, who's coaching for his job, or Stan Bowman, who for some reason is maybe going to keep his job, I am calling Connor McDavid in to the office, and I'm saying, you don't want to hear this. We believe in you. We love you. You are not playing games 1 or 2 of the second round, okay? No matter what happens. If we lose, famously, you're not playing any games of the second round. But if we win, we are sitting you for the first 2 games of the series because we'll get you right and try to rest you up, whatever it is. I'm not a doctor. I haven't seen his chart. And give Connor McDavid that idea that, hey, it probably seems crazy, the idea of this group making any sort of run right now, but go God mode tonight. We'll see what happens in game 7, and then you go from there. And there, I'm starting to think about, like, would that happen? Is that ridiculous? Who would they play? And then I'm thinking, they'd probably play the Golden Knights. These guys even beat up, I think, would beat the Golden Knights. And I was just sitting there spiraling because I realized what I was doing was pre-grieving. I was already mad thinking I'm going to watch the Golden Knights and whomever, or the Ducks, assuming the Golden Knights get through. I like the Ducks matchup for the Golden Knights, by the way. I think the Ducks will beat the Golden Knights. And I will be mad.
I'm not convinced it's going to be the Golden Knights.
I would love that. I mean, Golden Knights playing a couple of fast teams here if they end up playing the Ducks as well. And I was just pre-grieving, and I was going through all these things of maybe in the coming weeks I'm going to see things and say, God, like maybe the Stars get eliminated tonight. And I say the Stars, who famously the Oilers shouldn't fear, but they are a real legitimate opponent. They're going to drop out. And is this going to be like a 2019 kind of thing where if your team had any sort of expectations, you are going to watch everybody fall by the wayside and think, we could have made this run? It's all to say I was sitting there and I thought that I was completely pre-grieved because I figured, you know what? This thing is probably done, and it's probably done tonight. And then the first few minutes of the game happened, and I thought, well, never mind. Dostal looks horrible. Yeah, Connor McDavid misses the net on an early chance. Yeah, Dostal tries his hardest to let one in off a draw, but whatever. They're going to get their chances. And they got a bunch of bad bounces. Ducks go up 3-0, 3-1, something like the 3-1 in the first period. And everyone's talking about how, yeah, you know what? This kind of sucks for the Oilers because they've got bad luck. I agree with you, Pete. The Oilers kind of deserved all of the bad luck that they got. And I think getting back to the thing of, could you tell Connor McDavid, just push through for these couple of games, and we're going to find a way to make it so we can rest you up and see if we can make a run here. We all saw what Connor McDavid said after the game. And Sean, could you play it?
I mean, it seems like it goes back to game 1. It's been all year, searching. Any way to put your finger on how come it was so hard to find the overall game this season?
That was tough. We were an average team all year.
an average team with high expectations, you're going to be disappointed. We just never found it.
That was a team that knew their fate. That was Connor McDavid knowing their fate. And part of it, yes, I think that there was probably the obstacle of getting your team when legitimately, and this isn't an excuse, this is a fact, all 4 of your centers are injured. If you don't want to count Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, if you moved him to center, but McDavid hurt, Draisaitl hurt, Dickinson hurt, Henrique so hurt that he's not playing. That I think it would be impossible to get through to that team the idea that they were going to make any sort of run, and that just, boy, if that isn't an indication of where things stand versus a couple of years ago when, yeah, the Brobergs and the Holloways were there and everything, but just look at how the teams performed maybe you won't remember this. Sean or Pete, do you remember the hallmark of the 2024 Edmonton Oilers team that made a run to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final? What were they best at? Take out that they had Connor McDavid. What were they best at?
The power play?
Close.
The penalty kill.
The Oilers' penalty kill?
It was almost perfect.
Penalty kill
yeah.
netted a -1 in the 2024 playoffs because they allowed so few goals and scored so many shorthanded goals.
Mm-hmm.
Ducks were 50%. They were 8 for 16 on the power play. This was...
I think 2 things can be true at once. Like the Oilers were the hospital Oilers. They were super banged up, but this also wasn't a good team. And we saw that through so much of the regular season. We spent so much time waiting for it to click, for it to turn on. And yeah, they became a better team post-trade deadline when they got Dickinson, when they got Murphy, and they learned how to defend a little bit better. But this was never a good team. It was never a good team. And I think that the hope or the optimism that I had that they would get out of the first round was based off of, well, the Ducks aren't really a great team either. They stink at defending, and I don't think that defending was at a premium in this series. But the Ducks were healthier, and they were better at all the other things that made them a good team during the regular season, and the Oilers just didn't have enough there.
And there was something that was automatic, which is Ducks go on the power play. 50% of the time, they're going to score a goal. And whether it's Gauthier, who is just such a fucking bad man, or like I love that Ducks roster. I hope that we have gushed an appropriate amount about that team. People forget they are still my only bet on a team to win the Stanley Cup. I checked my cash out option today. Not available. Vegas is still saying, nah, you are stuck. We've got your $50. Okay. But yeah, like the Oilers, you could say, could have been up 2-0 in this series. I think they dicked around like crazy in Game 2, but like play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I'm not shocked by this result. And I think that there's talk of hospital Oilers, which is correct, but there's hospital Ducks things that I'm sure we don't know about.
There's hospital, like to bring back a brunch bit, hospital or police station.
Police station or hospital.
I think both apply here. Like some of these guys should go to the hospital and some of them should go to jail.
Yes.
Based off of the way that this series went. Darnell Nurse, you got to go. I mean, like, I'm sure we'll talk about that, but Darnell Nurse cannot be on this team next year. He just cannot. I've never seen a guy who is so good, and some of it's bad luck, but I've never seen a guy who's so good at putting the puck in the back of his own fucking net. Did it again last night. He's a liability. He costs too much money. There are too many guys on this team making a whole lot of money, and you need to fill in the gaps. Darnell Nurse needs to go.
To explain police station or hospital, there was one of our dear friends hosts a podcast that mainly discusses Taylor Swift matters, and it's really good. Recommend it. It's called Every Single Album, and the podcaster is Nora Princiotti. And this is going to be mean to call out her co-host, but every now and then her co-host will say something so nut bars on the like Swiftie scale, like way where like she'll put out an album and he'll be like, a woman in her 30s has never recorded an album before. What she is doing is so insane, and no woman has ever made music before. And I think it's like so pro Swiftie that it like becomes like weird and pandering, and also just like sexist. And like, if we want to go there, like Beyonce's been doing shit anyway. And our reaction to that is when you have takes like that, police station or hospital, You get
need
to
help.
pick.
Yeah.
You get to pick, but you got to go to one of them.
Get
okay?
some help.
Yes, like you got to go to one of them. And yeah, Oilers are a little police station or hospital. I think hospital, obviously, because they're injured, but there are some police station moments for sure. I feel bad for Jake Wallman when he tried to not screen Ingram.
Was that the sequence where Jake Wallman basically tried to give the puck away? Jari tried to then put the puck in the back of his own net, and then the Oilers immediately took a. Oh yeah, Ingram. Sorry.
No.
The Oilers immediately took a too many men.
No.
At that point, I was like, "This is the
That was
most
police
deeply
station.
unserious team I've ever seen in my life."
That was extremely chat says women famously burst into flames once they turn 30. I forget what the take was, by the way, so I hope I'm not accusing that man of an incorrect take, but it was funny and it made us laugh. Okay. There's been the hospital Oilers thing. There's also been the they've played a lot of hockey the last couple of years. And to that I say, don't you fucking dare bring up fallow year without knowing the term fallow year. To me, do not suggest any sort of it will be good.
Show me your farming credentials.
It will be good. Yes, you don't know shit about agriculture. If you are going to do some, again, they don't know the term, so they say hey, you know what? They played a lot of hockey, and right now, Florida Panthers, similar situation. They miss the playoffs. They don't make a deep run. The Florida Panthers, my friends, are about to select top 10. The Oilers are about to not select top 32 in either of the next two drafts because they went for it this year again, and they don't end up making the run. They get themselves injured in the process. So really, this was no fallow year chat here. They don't
Just
deserve
a bad
it.
harvest.
They didn't get it. There's not going to be a harvest. If anything, there's fucking locusts. I don't think that it's going to be like the last 2 years where there's going to be some locusts from St. Louis and Carolina coming and trying to poach your players with offer sheets because I don't think there's anyone to offer sheet. There isn't a young star. The biggest question, Biz made the mistake of asking me last night after the game, where do you think it went wrong? What do you think they do? So as I did with anybody who asked me any question like that, I just exploded for 45 minutes. And a question they're going to face is, what do they do with Ike Howard? Because Ike Howard now becomes a piece that either you say, look what we did with Matt Savoy. What a great player he was. And God, if he hit a crossbar last night, it would have been amazing. But a lot of posts, a lot of just missed opportunities versus Dostal. But Savoy, a good rookie year. Get a full year of Ike Howard, and you could say to Connor McDavid in year one of this 2-year deal, because make no mistake, you are absolutely, there's no question now that you are auditioning for Connor McDavid at this point.
Oh, yeah. That was my big takeaway. My big feeling last night was people were saying you've got a 2-year window with Connor McDavid, given the contract, the 2-year deal. I feel like you have a 1-year window because after 1 year, if you don't take significant steps in the right direction, that's when the thought starts hitting you. Well, do we risk losing this guy for nothing? That's when that becomes a real conversation. And I don't think that you can go into year 2 without having that sort of that contingency plan in place.
I mean, I've already thought about that, and I've landed on you just can't not keep Connor McDavid for year 2. But oh my God, what a headache offseason they had this year when he was about to go into a walk year. If that happens again, when they still haven't won the cup, and he's now shown, this is it, guys. I'm giving you a 2-year deal. I'm not taking a pay raise when I obviously should be making $20 million a year. I'm going to make $12.5 million instead. If after he's done that, going into that walk year, I don't even think it should be a noisy offseason, because I think that it should just be understood. This is it. This is your last year of Connor McDavid. And I don't know if you remember last year when we were talking about it, it's so unlikely. I mean, they're back-to-back cup finalists. Connor McDavid is the king of Alberta. There's just no way they would trade him. And we were talking about, if a team even did, do you remember the hypothetical package that we came up with?
No.
It was Sharks call Stan Bowman and say, Macklin Celebrini and Sam Dickinson for Connor McDavid. We'll do it. And that's obviously crazy now, but you're I think neither team can do that. Because like Sharks might be like Macklin Celebrini had a really good rookie year, but we can get Connor McDavid. That's once in a lifetime. Got to do it. Now, not even close. Like I don't want to get into hypothetical trade stuff with Connor McDavid because I don't think he's going to get traded, but there's nothing that will be commensurate value for Connor McDavid. So you have to take him in to that second year. But I'm saying they're auditioning for him now, of course. The Ike Howard thing is interesting because you could say, all right, we've shown with Matt Savoy that we can get you a wing who can play with you, but you need more guys who can play throughout the lineup, maybe someone who could play with Leon, even though Leon can famously play with anybody. Is Ike Howard going to be one of those guys, or is the situation so bad, because I have run buyout calculators on a couple of Oilers players, that Ike Howard becomes your chip to get out of the Jari contract, improve your goaltending or whatever? Like, I'm spitballing here. I don't know if, like, say there's like a Saros thing that's out there and you're like, okay, we're going to give you Ike Howard, other stuff, and we still need to find a way to get Jari's contract off the books, that Ike Howard ends up being similar to that first-round pick Stan Bowman traded to get rid of Andrew Mangiapane when he got Jason Dickinson. Ike Howard becomes now the sweetener, which fucking break this mug over my fucking face if that is the case. But that's the situation they're in. Like, because the Jari thing, I've not heard good things about Tristan Jari. I have not seen good things about Tristan Jari. And by seen, I mean watching them.
Yeah.
There was obviously the rumors with the whole practice thing during the season that maybe you could put two and two together and think maybe his teammates aren't crazy about how hard he works. I don't care if he's a hard worker or not. I hope that he is, and I hope that he's a great guy with a happy life. I'm talking about, I'm like acting like Lena Dunham getting rid of Lambie here, but like you got to do something to get rid of that. You got to do something to improve the goaltending situation, because I saw a man after that game last night, Connor McDavid, who seemed very resigned, who was like, yeah, we obviously weren't going anywhere this year. This is the most important Oilers offseason since every Oilers offseason.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, this one, the stakes are way higher, and they're going to continue to get higher the closer we get to the end of this 3-year window. But like the simple thing that it boils down to is Connor McDavid gave you a 3-year window. Very clear. What did you do in year one? You regressed. You made your biggest issue worse and paid assets to do it. And your depth became a lot worse. And yeah, you can talk about the Ike Howards, the prospects, the replenishing that's been done. And not everything that Bowman has done has been like a negative, but it is certainly a net negative. And I do not think they are in anywhere close to as good of a position as they were last year.
I think that, I mean, bad GMs have their strengths. And I think that if I need a third line center, I'm asking Sam Bowman to get me that guy. Like, and seriously, and if I need maybe a reclamation project, I'm asking Stan Bowman to get me that guy. Like the Pod Colson era, for lack of a better term, in Edmonton has been an absolute coup. Like that, is that right? Coup? No, coup is when. What is it when? Is it what is it when it's like an overwhelming return?
Is that a boon?
Is that I was thinking is that
a coup is when you overthrow a government.
Yes. And that's what I'm looking for here.
A boon.
A boon is a blessing, benefit, or timely helpful gift, Peter. Yes.
Go boons.
That's been an absolute boon. So that's great. But the fuck ups are too loud, and we're gonna get to Petey in a few minutes. But I said I looked at the buyout situation on Jari. Can't be done. He's $5.35 million against the cap the next 2 years. If they buy him out, it's $4.7 million against the cap next year, $4.2 million after that, and then $458,000 in each of the next 2 years. So you can't get rid of Tristan Jari. How about another bad contract? Darnell Nurse has 4 years left at $9.25 million. Pretty much buyout proof as well. Pete, you had an idea for Darnell Nurse.
The Oilers should try to trade Darnell Nurse to the San Jose Sharks, because the San Jose Sharks just need I don't want to say like competent defenseman because I don't know if I would throw Darnell Nurse into that pile, but I would say that Darnell Nurse is a better option than a lot of what the San Jose Sharks are running out there right now. And if the Oilers retain even a little bit, I think that is a feasible deal, and that is a kind of a win-win for both teams.
Here's what I will say on Darnell Nurse. He has a no movement clause. So in that sense, you cannot trade him if he does not consent. I think that otherwise you can trade Darnell Nurse. Like you would have to retain, but if he's $9.25 million, and if you say $2.5 million, what's 9.25? That's 6.675.
Yes. Can I jump in here?
Yep.
There's some. Why would the Sharks ever do that? Because you have Dmitry Orlov, John Klingberg, Nick Leddy on your blue line. Like, you don't have defensemen.
Yeah,
like, Darnell Nurse is not a good first pairing defenseman. He's going to be overpaid for whatever role that you probably put him in, but he's a fine defenseman to have out there.
Yeah,
He's better than what you have is the short answer there.
There is misunderstanding with Darnell Nurse, not to the degree there was with Seth Jones, where people were like, "You could never trade Seth Jones. He's horrible and he makes so much money." It's like, whoa. Seth Jones is horrible now? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? He can't be your only defenseman on a roster with a bunch of 3-year-olds, but he's not horrible. And then he goes to a good situation and he's great. Seth Jones, I think, is, I would say, a lot better than Darnell Nurse. But Darnell Nurse, if he's making $6.675 million, or Darnell Nurse, if you eat more of that, Darnell Nurse is absolutely fine. If you're making him your 4th or 5th defenseman, yeah, no problem.
Right.
That's fine. So I think that you can trade that. I don't think that you need to staple Ike Howard to Darnell Nurse and eat money on. If you want to get rid of all the money altogether, yeah, sure. But yeah, there are a few teams that I would like Darnell Nurse for.
Yeah, like acting like there's no place for Darnell Nurse in the NHL is kind of crazy.
I mean, it's what people do when players are struggling, or when players' contracts are bad, or when they're just when too much is being asked of them. And I think that's the situation with Darnell Nurse. It stinks because I've had some days of liking him as a player, as an Edmonton Oiler. Here's my fun little theory on why I'd be afraid to do that.
Why?
First of all, 2 things. One, for the San Jose Sharks, if they get Darnell Nurse, to quote Job Bluth, you get that pregnant, it stays pregnant. The Sharks only have 1 retention slot left.
Oh,
so if the Sharks get Darnell Nurse, they're not like running him through the car wash and then like spit shining him and trading him somewhere else. If you get Darnell Nurse, you have Darnell Nurse.
Yeah.
So if he gets worse, or if like he gets there and he's not a happy camper or whatever, like that's something to keep in mind.
And they need right D more than they need lefty.
The big one though for me, if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, and I don't know if they consider personalities too much, because when I look at some of Stan Bowman's moves, I don't think that like he cares too much about how teammates are viewed or whatever. If I'm the Edmonton Oilers, I am not trading one of Connor McDavid's friends to the San Jose Sharks right now.
I mean, that's...
I am not doing anything.
I've had enough of like he's Connor McDavid's friend talk with the Oilers.
No. It's not about like
yeah.
you got to keep his friends. I'm saying I am trying to not make certain destinations more appealing to Connor McDavid.
I mean, I regardless of whether or not Connor McDavid likes Darnell Nurse a lot, which I'm sure he does, I do not, given what's happened over the past several years, I don't think Connor McDavid's going to hit free agency and be like, I would love to play with Darnell Nurse again.
I don't think that he signs with the team because they have Darnell Nurse, but I think that if the Sharks get Darnell Nurse, which makes them a little more adult next year, which probably gets them to the playoffs next year as their guys all get a year older, and in a couple of years, Connor McDavid's a free agent, and Coach Chippy Voice, he wants to team with another star. Mm-hmm. I go play with Macklin Celebrini. They've also got some veterans there that I like. I can wrap my head around this. That makes San Jose more appealing.
Connor McDavid going from a team that's been to the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row, and obviously it's not been great this year, obviously wouldn't have been great the next 2 years if he ends up deciding to leave, to a team that at best has had one probably not very long playoff run, being like, that's where I'm going to win my cup, would be an insane move.
Well, that's how it works with the whole Coach Chippy thing of like, he should team up with Austin Matthews. Like,
but at least, I mean, at least the Leafs have been to the playoffs like a single time. Same with, like, he also mentioned Kucherov. They've obviously, I mean, Kucherov has been about as productive of a playoff player as Macklin Celebrini has been over the last couple of years, but regardless, like, I think there would be significantly more proven or closer to a cup destinations than the San Jose Sharks would be.
if Connor McDavid went to the Toronto Maple Leafs, I would be the biggest first-round Boston Bruins fan this side of the West Edmonton Mall. I would want the Boston, and I love Connor McDavid, obviously.
Yeah.
I would want the Boston Bruins to stay owning that ass.
That'd be
I've always
so
been
fucking
invested in that quote-unquote rivalry because it's just funny. I'm sorry.
It's
we call
funny.
it like we see it. Yeah. It's a funny rivalry. The Maple Leafs get all excited when they make the playoffs and they lose to the Bruins.
Can I raise 2 points that I thought of last night? Number one, if you had told us at the beginning of the year that your team would be the first eliminated, would any of us believe it?
Theater.
Would any of us believe it?
That is un film.
The answer is certainly not.
Well, I would have believed it because you could only get eliminated if you make the playoffs, and I would have thought there was certainly a possibility in which DJ had the only playoff.
No, you can be eliminated if you don't make the playoffs. There, famously, half the league gets eliminated.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like, that's crazy. And second point, have you come to the realization that this is the first time in What Chaos history that we will have playoff games without the Edmonton Oilers alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Playoffs without the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah. Every time we are talking about the playoffs, the Edmonton Oilers are in it.
They have
now.
They have never been eliminated until the season ends.
Ducks are different. I saw people saying they were like, maybe McDavid is just a Kings merchant. When he plays the Kings, he gets out of the first round. When he plays the Ducks, he gets out of the first round. I'm like, oh, when he plays with the Kings, he gets to game 6 or 7 of the Stanley Cup final. I think it's a little more than that, but I see the point. Shall we get to our good friend, Steve Peters? Let's do it. From inside the coach's room, it's our great guy, Steve Peters. Hi, Petey.
Hi, guys. I tell you this, it's been a while since I've been on the Chaos, and I miss the energy. I miss a little bit of the angst. I miss this banter that gets my blood going, and unfortunately, that means I'll probably go sideways sometimes in the next 15 to 20 minutes, so just prepare.
I have noticed, Petey, you've been kind of doing the rounds internationally this week, going on other shows. Congratulations. I'm glad that you're getting some love. But you're like, you have a different energy on other shows for sure.
Well, what kind of energy is that? Like, I don't get as angry, or I don't really, I don't know what that is, but I will say this. Can I say something before we even start? And I don't know if we're going on this because unfortunately DJ didn't send me notes on what I'm talking about. So I'm preparing for everything. I will tell you this.
I'm in misery.
I talked a lot about, and the reason I'm getting all these hits all over North America right now is because of I worked with, or not with, good Lord, I worked for John Chayka. And that's getting a lot of attention as we're seeing how that's transpiring in Toronto. But I want to make something clear today, and I will just leave it at that. I have been taking a lot of heat on social media, as that's what happens on social media, that, hey, you're supporting this guy and all the kind words I'm saying about John Chayka. Dude, if you're not reading between the lines, you are missing the point. I don't know what I'm not going to get on media and blow up a kid. I'm not, because I'd like to work again and I don't want to burn bridges. But if you can't read between the lines of what I think of that hire in Toronto, you are missing it. I don't understand, one, how he's back in the league. I don't get how he got by the suspension and the drafts and the trades and all of the things that any one of us can look up on the internet and understand how he is using a data-centric GM. Dude, look around the league. Every team's got a data department. Every single general manager in the National Hockey League has that analytics department. Every one. So don't give me that data-centric stuff. I just want to get on here and clear the air on that I'm not sitting here supporting this and like, hey, what a great hire by John Chayka. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a really smart businessman, and he made some missteps in Arizona, and maybe he's got a second chance, and maybe things get better. Okay, I'm done.
Here's what you're misunderstanding, Pete. You said John Chayka, and if you just say a person's name, the internet gets to decide that you like John Chayka, support John Chayka, or my favorite word, platforming John Chayka.
Yeah.
So this was on you, buddy. You said John Chayka, and I fear our friendship is over because fuck you, just a little bit. You're a bad guy now.
I know, and that's what, in all seriousness, and this is where it happens, and you guys have seen it firsthand, both of you have, because you do this for a living. If you want to say something because you're in a position to say something because of your life experiences or your knowledge or what you see, if you say those things, you're going to get it. Like, I don't care which side it's coming from, but somebody's going to blast you. And in the Toronto media market, you're really going to get hammered. So I went out and said things. I walked the line. I tried to be fair and balanced. And unfortunately, some people thought I was defending this young man. And you are right. Spreading the hate.
Sorry, I just want to clarify. Could you spell out what you said that was taken as you supporting John Chayka?
I put it more on this that he's a really smart guy that was under poor circumstances in Arizona, and I think that was taken to that I was supporting him, and unfortunately that wasn't the case. So I don't. John never did anything to me personally other than fire me, which is what?
I mean, that's
Who
a great
among
quote.
us?
What? What did you say?
Wait,
And that honestly, that's why I couldn't say anything, because if you say something, oh, you're a disgruntled employee. The truth is, John Chayka quit a month before I was let go. So it wasn't John Chayka that fired me. And I think that there's some of that too, that, oh, you're just disgruntled. Hey, dude, I worked with him every day from the day he walked into the Arizona Coyotes organization till the day he walked out and quit on us 2 days before the bubble. I was there. I worked with him every single day. So if people don't, I have an opinion. I'm sorry. So anyway, sorry.
Can I read you something that
we're talking playoffs? How would this happen?
Not yet, because I do want to bring up one last thing
Don't think
on
so, buddy.
Chayka. Can I read you something that Steve Simmons wrote this week about John Chayka? And I don't know. Steve Simmons has a checkered past about writing things that may or may not be true. Particularly
who among us?
the Phil Kessel hot dog thing, which became one of my favorite parts of like early NHL days on Twitter. This is what Steve Simmons wrote this week. Quote, when he was general manager of the Arizona Coyotes, there were so many computer terminals on the giant-sized desk of numbers guru John Chayka that it looked like he was trading commodities on Wall Street. When Chayka was shown the door in Arizona in 2020, it was quickly determined that just one of the computer terminals on his massive desk was in working order. The other 5, with data frozen on each screen, were nothing but show. End quote.
Yeah,
Snopes us, please. If you have knowledge.
The truth is, there is a lot of that from the John Chayka era. A lot of it was for appearance and show, specifically for the media. And it was overwhelming. He speaks incredibly well, and he is knowledgeable, and he does know his numbers. And when you say those things all in combination, the media can be enthralled with it. And the one thing about the monitors, we went through a budget issue in Arizona, and that's not news. Is every single year that we went through budget problems, and specifically when Morello took over. But one thing John did to the hockey operations office, when you walked in, there was a wall of monitors, and I'm not kidding. It was 32 monitors, 31 because we didn't need one. 31 monitors on the wall, and they all represented a different team in the league, and it had their roster on it on a monitor, from similar to Cap Friendly or Puckpedia, with all of their numbers on it. And they were stationary. They were just sitting there. They didn't rotate. They didn't go to different things. They just stayed on that one roster and their money thing. And you walk in, and honestly, it's impressive. Like when you walk in, you see, wow, instead of a little whiteboard with names and numbers on it or things with rosters, he had monitor, and it looked cool. But it was just it was literally Puckpedia and Cap Friendly. Like, okay, well, what does that show us today? What do we have to update the pages? And it's funny when they put that wall in, when the construction actually went in, they didn't account for powering up 32 monitors on that wall, and there just wasn't enough outlets to that wall. And they also didn't think of how we're going to get 32 different rosters on these screens. Like, we didn't have 32 computers feeding those screens. So you ended up early in construction, all of these monitors on the wall with no power and no computers running to them. I found a little bit of humor in it. And I do think that there is something to that. I don't know about the computers on his desk, but every time you walked into that office, there was numbers on whiteboards. There was numbers on computers, man. And hey, if you don't know what you're looking at and you don't know what you're talking about, you can fool people with numbers. You can.
Sorry.
Yeah. Am I in trouble here?
No,
nobody listens to this, right? No. Like, this isn't going anywhere after this, right?
Shockingly, so many more people listen to that. We went through this yesterday. People listen to this for some reason instead of watching it. Chad has determined that all the things you're discussing is in fact diva behavior, which they find good.
Yeah, that's me. And those that know me, that's what I'm here for. I'm all about me.
I think they're saying John Chayka.
They're saying that Chayka is a bit of a diva, which
it's not that. You know what it is? It's a confidence in your abilities because you've been told how smart you are and how good you are at what you do from a very early age. And if everybody, including very successful business people, keep telling you how smart you are and how good you are and how great you are at your job, you get an elevated opinion of how good you are and how smart you are at those specific tasks. And so I think by the time you're 25 years old and your first job in the National Hockey League, your first job, it wasn't in the mail room, it wasn't on an analytics department, your first job at the age of 25, just out of university. I know he started a company and Staffleets was incredibly successful. And I would keep going back to he's smart and he did all of those things. Those are all true. But your first job in the National Hockey League, the first job in hockey, is assistant general manager in the National Hockey League. And within a year, at 26, you are general manager of a National Hockey League team. It is no wonder that you have a little bit of an ego and you have a little bit of confidence because everybody tells you how smart you are. The papers are writing articles of what a hockey genius you are becoming. Like, it's hard not to get swept up in that internally. And that, honestly, it created a monster. And it really went that direction for John, where he walked into every single room and he was the smartest guy in the room. And the truth is, in a lot of those rooms he was, but that was the attitude he took. That's the attitude he took at the GM meetings with 31 other general managers who have been in the league for 20 plus years. He went into that room at 26 years old thinking he was the smartest guy in that room, period. When he went in to do trade deals, he was smarter than the guy he was going up against every single time. And I know
up against Stan Bowman, who's probably kicking the shit out of him.
That's a conversation for another day. But that ultimately, when you have that hubris and you have that ego, and there's nobody there telling you not to, that's the safety valve that Arizona missed. They didn't have an experienced assistant general manager that had worked in the league for 10 years, that had been around in these rooms, that had dealt in negotiations with general managers in other things, had gone to those NHL meetings. They didn't have that. The ownership group was made up of 8 Canadian businessmen, mostly in oil, never been in sports before. There was no assistant general manager. He hired everybody that he knew that was his age, and underneath him was all people that he was friends with and were under the age of 26. There was no experienced assistant general manager. There's no one to say you can't do that. And with no guardrails, with the ego that he had, things just got out of control. And when the NHL caught him in his cheating scandal, I wasn't a part of that. I wasn't in scouting. I didn't do those things. But clearly Arizona was guilty and lost a first-round draft pick because of it. I don't know if John didn't know the rules, and I've been told that there's no way he didn't know the rules because they're explained quite explicitly by the NHL, and maybe he can use his ignorance to the rules to avoid those rules, or if it was a matter of I'm smarter than everybody. I can do what I want to. I can do this if I want to. I can bend the rules a little bit because I am who I am. And it's okay if I do those things.
I don't know if you understand how much our audience is eating up every word you just said. Bisexual people under 30 are going to spend the entire weekend looking up and discussing John Chayka. I mean,
you have successfully sold so many people on the idea of Chayka to the big leagues,
like,
including me.
I don't think you were trying to do that, but like diva, by the way, is a good thing now. It isn't like back in the day where you would say like, oh, that athlete is a diva. They make it all about them. Diva, I believe, is now like, okay, diva,
Yeah, and I'm so mad that the chat beat me to it, but the description of Chayka is giving extremely Ice Town cost Ice Clown his town crown.
Young Benji
vibe.
Wyatt. Yep.
Yes. Parks and Rec.
Is it okay? I don't understand
reference.
anything that you just said.
Parks and Rec reference. Great show.
Okay,
You should
Parks
check
and
it
Rec.
out.
I love Parks and Rec. I've seen the whole series. I don't know the reference because I don't remember things after I've seen it. But lastly, and we'll move on to the playoffs. First, thank you for giving me a forum. Secondly, if people want to call me a disgruntled employee, that's fine. Was there a little bit of green-eyed monster in me, a guy that had at that point put in 15 years in the National Hockey League, working 18, 20 hours a day, every single day, never moving anywhere from my seat, and see a kid come in at 25 and become the next big thing in hockey? Absolutely, there's part of that. Without question, there's part of that there is some jealousy in the way I looked at John Chayka and his quick rise to the top of the National Hockey League ranks. It was some of that. So you can say that. You can say I was disgruntled because I was let go. Absolutely, you can say those things. But my opinion is that Toronto he can't get away with things that he did in Arizona in Toronto. There is no chance that the media is going to let him go. There's no chance the media is not going to challenge him on his analytics and his decisions that he makes. He is going to be under a microscope. So over the last 10 years, he may have matured. He is a great businessman sitting on the board of Wendy's Canada. Like he understands money and business, and all of those things are true. And I will see how he succeeds. I hope he does. Good luck for Toronto. I want to see Austin Matthews have some success. I really do. But just buyer beware. Like, this is something that when you look at the actual numbers and you look at analytics, you have to really look at what the history was in Arizona. When your draft pick is Victor Soderstrom, that he used his analytics to acquire, that he absolutely loved that player ahead of players. And you go, look, you got Barrett Hayton over Quinn Hughes. He had Victor Soderstrom over 4 or 5. Look at the next 4 or 5 picks after Soderstrom. So if your analytics are so good and you're such a good analytics guy, how did you miss? How did you miss not once, not twice, but go look at his drafts? So those things everybody can look at, and those things have been questioned. I'm talking more about what the thought was amongst other GMs in the National Hockey League, among people in the league, and what this franchise was looked at in Arizona when we walked into other buildings. And I hope people take this away. And I know John and I'm sure won't be going to coffee anytime soon, but maybe he succeeds. Maybe it's enough. And lastly, this is the one I'm burning a bridge. You guys ready for burning a bridge?
Oh,
you know who needs to watch out? You know who needs to watch out? Keith Pelly. Because John Chayka is taking this job. But I tell you what job he's eyeing. He's eyeing sitting on the board of MLSE. Because in Arizona, he came in as an assistant GM that was hired by an owner, not by Don Maloney, hired by an owner. And within a year, he's pushed out Don Maloney, Darcy Regier. Dave Tippett took the power over, and he was the head of president of hockey ops. And within a few months, Dave Tippett's out. So just Keith Pelly's the one that needs to keep his head on a swivel here at the MLSE once you get John Chayka in. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misread this whole situation. But now, for all the people that said I was praising John Chayka and putting him on a pedestal, I hope that clears the air.
You have made me so invested in the short-term future of the Toronto Maple Leafs, dude.
I need it so bad.
We're going to have no choice, but this is going to be like a heated rivalry thing where it just we're like, hey, we were planning on being an NHL show, but we found something we're just too into. And if you'll allow, we're going to be doing mostly this. The Chayka Leafs thing could be amazing.
Yeah, I did not know that we were going to get all of this today.
I didn't, and I wasn't either. It's funny, and you guys,
Petey, you are so messy.
The truth is, when this show is over, but we'll have to. I have to tell you, there was a specific incident that happened this morning that sparked this conversation. I thought I had put it to bed last night, and something teed this up for me this morning that started making me think about what I said and how I say it. So
Teed it up.
Yes, I'll share it with you guys. And one of the things I will hold to away from this, but I work closely with Megan Chayka and at ESPN.
We love Megan.
And
Megan's
Staffleet,
great.
and Megan does a great job. Without Megan Chayka and the work that Staffleet does, the company that John Chayka founded, I could not do my job at ESPN, period. So I don't want to make this, Megan's great. John's a nice guy. John's smart. He did too many people telling him the wrong things and giving him the wrong advice when he was 25 and 26. And hopefully he has learned and matured from that, and he has moved forward. And maybe now he can use his strength and powers for good instead of evil.
Chat says I've got so many tabs open on my browser right now. Petey, that's amazing. We talk, I mean, usually this time of year, we're talking about, hey, how's Stu going to match up against this thing? And you explain to us how the Oilers are somehow going to waltz through their second round opponent, and then they go do that. Instead, we are talking about the end of the Oilers. And I also want to talk Stars in a little bit, but what do you make of the Oilers and what they must now do?
They're in trouble. This is the franchise that has spent all of their attention, money, staffing on 97. Everything is revolved around 97 and what he wants. We fired 2 coaches for you. Who do you want? Well, can I get the guy I had when I was a teenager? Yeah, we can do that. Well, we've adjusted the whole entire organization to suit a player that now is incredibly frustrated, recognizes and looks around the locker room saying, I'm not on a very good team. The same problems that existed 2 years ago under Stan Bowman exist today. The goaltending is still an issue. I love Connor Ingram. I really do. He was here in Arizona. What a great human being, battled through all this. He didn't get the defensive support. The defensive turnovers continue. They didn't get scoring from the bottom 6. I know they're banged up. Dude, it's 10 days into the playoffs. Like, if you don't think everybody's banged up by now, I'm sorry. They didn't lose McDavid. I know he's hurt, but he's still playing. And now you're looking at a team that still no bottom 6. And most importantly, you hit it on the head. They got nowhere to go. You've got no draft picks. You traded them away to get to where you were knocked out in the first round. They're in trouble. And I honestly don't know. There is so much wrong with it. Last summer, it was, hey, they need a goalie. That was it. They need a goalie.
They got one.
That was the one thing. Yeah, they got one. Tristan Jarry had that, and that was it. Now you look at it and go, oh my God, we have a lot of problems now. We got to fill in our bottom 6. Our defense now, we've clearly see we've got some issues on the back end. We've got to correct that. And on top of that, we still need a goalie. Oh, do we have first-round draft picks coming? Well, we really don't. So, yeah, this has gone from a team that was one win away from winning a Stanley Cup to a team now that is on the precipice with teams like Utah, San Jose, Anaheim, Chicago on their way up. This is a team that's on the precipice of being out of the playoffs a year from now. That's frightening for this fan base and more importantly, for this ownership and management group.
There's one more thing I want to say about the contracts of the Oilers that we didn't bring up. We discussed the Nurse contract, which they can move. They'd need to retain. He'd need to sign off on it. The Jari contract, which I don't think you're getting out of unless you really, really make it worth someone's while. People were talking last night about, like, hey, how you feel about Jake Wallman at 7x7? I think it's fine. I think that where contracts are going, $7 million for a defenseman who... ideally, you're kind of picking your spots with how you deploy him. But the one that I think is sneaky interesting is Matthias Ekholm is coming down from $6 million. His contract's expiring, and he's beginning a 3 times $4 million contract. And $4 million isn't a problem. That for how you use him, $4 million is amazing for a first pairing defenseman. I'm not worried about the contract. I'm worried about the fact that I think Matthias Ekholm is showing his age, and doesn't matter what he's getting paid. You need Matthias Ekholm to be really good, because Evan Bouchard obviously is great, but you do not have a great defenseman after Evan Bouchard. And for years, 2-3 years now, it has been Matthias Ekholm is the adult. You let Evan Bouchard grow into what he's going to be, and Ekholm is the guy that kind of carries that back end. If Ekholm gets old and bad, which I think he is starting to look quite old, you are really in trouble, because I don't see a replacement there.
Yeah, this is where the problems start to come in, where you put together a team that you think can win a Stanley Cup, and now you fall extremely short of that goal. And now you look across your roster and you look up at that lineup board and you go, uh-oh. we're in trouble. And Ekholm is a guy that was supposed to be the guy that they could count on through this playoff window for Connor McDavid. And right now, you're right. When you look across the league at the teams that are succeeding, and I'll go right to the Minnesota Wild, they are succeeding because they have the best defensive tandem in the National Hockey League right now that play with pace, that are offensive. But you watch Quinn Hughes defend. I know he's not pushing people through the glass. I get it. But his ability to use his stick and use his body to get in the right position, that's how they're winning. And you look at Edmonton and you go, Bouchard offensively elite, but you look at that lineup and you go, okay, where is our defending? Darnell Nurse, you guys are already talked about. I love Connor Murphy, another great guy, but another guy that's slow of foot and isn't going to help you in the defensive zone as much as you want him to be. So there are so many holes on that back home. Ekholm is a guy that right now still has value around the league. And we talk about his money at $4 million, which is a very palatable dollar amount. You got to get faster. Edmonton's got to get faster. They got to get younger. And this is going to be one of those, do you hang on to a guy that you could trade? I don't know his no move. You guys know all that. I never know as much as I should about those things. But Edmonton's got to find a way to get quicker on the back end. They've got to get faster on the back end. They're already got the speed up front, but they need to get quicker from the back end. And Ekholm clearly is going in the wrong direction with that as well. So I think this is going to be a big question mark. Another one to add on to Stan Bowman's desk if he's still in it by August.
Power rank the members of the Edmonton Oilers that should not be part of that organization next year. Like there's Chris Knobloch in that discussion, Stan Bowman, Darnell Nurse, Tristan Jarry. Like, how do you rank? Where's the priority in terms of cleaning house?
Yeah, I think you got to go. We've all talked about Stan Bowman, and I think it's time. I think that's run its course. You had the time with the window wide open, and you failed. Let's move on. I think that one's first. The Knobloch discussion is interesting because, if this team makes it to the Stanley Cup Finals, he's a genius. And which he did. And I will say this about coaching the Edmonton Oilers, because I saw it with Dave Tippett, I saw it with Jay Woodcroft, and we saw it now with Knobloch. It's you coach by throwing 97 and 29 over the boards, and when things aren't going well, you put them together. And that's been the solution to coaching in Edmonton for a while. And right now, that's not working. You're going to have to get some defensive structure into this team, their ability to read the rush. And I'll pump my own inside the coaches room, jump over there and check out their defending the rush with Kapanen on the back check, and their ability to protect the net front. I know they worked hard in the playoffs last year and they said they defended better, but they've got to be a team that, oh my gosh, they smother you in the defensive zone. We can't get anything. We can't get by them. If they have that and they have McDavid and Draisaitl, look out. And that's why they went to the finals last year. I think it's time for Knobloch to get a change too.
2024 was the fucking year.
So is it Bruce Cassidy? Like, is Bruce Cassidy the guy for this team?
I don't think McDavid and Cassidy would get along. I think Cassidy's that's going to be Connor McDavid's going to have to decide if he wants to have that kind of a tough, disciplined coach that can help with their defensive zone structure and help them win, or he's going to have a coach that really is a nice guy that they like to play for. Because I think Cassidy is a guy that's difficult, is hard. And the Cassidy experiment lasts for a couple of years. You can shape a team up quickly. And so maybe for a 1-year run, that's what you need to do. But you have to watch how your stars react to that. And I don't know if Draisaitl would love that either, in the way he approaches the game and the way he back checks and the way he plays on the defensive side of the puck. I'm not sure he would love a Cassidy. It could make things worse, but you got to try something different. And if you can bring in a guy that can shake things up, that is no more, hey, you're my buddy, that could make a huge difference.
I mean, all they have to do is be buddies until the pen hits the paper for that new contract. Like,
yeah,
all you got to do is get him to the table and get that pen in his hand and sign the next deal.
Here's this live TV. This thing.
We're a cat-friendly show.
Yep.
Lenny. Jeez.
Yeah, my understanding, and it might be a stupid understanding, but my understanding of that Oilers room is that the inspiration comes from the players. And like and that's fine. Some teams are like that.
Yeah, sure.
Like they're motivated by the players, not necessarily by the coach. And like it's funny after they've lost the first round of the playoff to say like, well, then you should should you still want that if they lost in the first round of the playoffs? I would say, yeah, if they got to the Cup final that way the last 2 years.
But how long are you going to continue building your team and letting your team mold in the image of players who may not belong for that team?
It's an excellent point, and that's the issue that they face. And I think that if Cassidy comes in there, he's going to scream and yell at you until maybe kind of like it was in Vegas, if I understand correctly. They start to scream and yell back, and then it was, okay, well, then this isn't going to work. I think that Knobloch did not have a good year, and that coaching staff had a treacherous year, but Knobloch was a good, Knobloch would, I said this the other day, you remember a couple of years ago, Petey, in the conference final against the Stars, they're down 2-1, and you're like, well, they've done everything they can. What are they going to do here? And he completely reinvents that defense, plays Philip Broberg, who it seemed the team hated like poison and was afraid to play, and says, you know what? Okay, Philip Broberg is now like our number 3 defenseman, and pulls this rabbit out of his hat, and it works. And Game 5 of this series, he totally puts his defensive pairings in a blender, and it works. And you're like, I've just trusted this way that Knobloch has had about him, where his kind of last-ditch efforts seem like they were chiseled by the gods, but maybe not.
Yeah, I think there is some of that, and I think his relationship with the players have been very good, and I was surprised at how well this team did defend last year, and I said that through 3 games, LA's going to beat them, they can't defend. Well, they flipped a switch, and they learned how to defend quickly, and they were much better. You talked about one thing, though, about motivation in the room and the motivation coming from the players. If you are going to win a Stanley Cup, and that's very difficult to do, we know that 31 teams don't do it every year, so clearly everybody's excluded for this, but if you're going to be a successful team and go a long way, you have to have that motivation and accountability in the room. You do not create a championship team without that accountability in the room. The coaches can only do so much. You have to have the guy sitting next to you in the locker room that can look you in the eyes and go, you need to be better. And I don't know, I've seen it over and over again. One, if you don't have that guy in the locker room that can hold guys accountable, and you have to have a guy that plays as well to back up that message. And I'll go to Brad Richardson. A lot of people don't know Brad Richardson, but one of the last old school hockey guys that Arizona had, he could go inside the locker room and get in your face and go, you need to be better. And that accountability helps you win. Pittsburgh Penguins win because they have players like Sidney Crosby looking at you across the room going, dude, I'm doing it. You need to do it. And I think that's why coaches motivate, but a team, that accountability of the guy sitting next to you binds you together, and that lets you play as a group. That's what's happening in Philly. That team on paper is no good. On paper, they shouldn't even be in the playoffs. And now they're in the second round. Why? Because they're playing as a group of 20, us against the world. So I think the Edmonton Oilers need a little bit of that. And I wonder if when you're sitting in that locker room, and I don't know, I'll preface all this by, I don't know. If you look at the coach and you look across the thing, dude, they're not looking at me to save the day. They're looking at 97-29. They're not going to throw me out when it matters. They're not going to put me in a position where I need to carry the weight. If it's 97-29's team, let it be 97-29's team. And I say a little tongue-in-cheek with that, but that is how this goes in Edmonton. And I don't know if the responsibility needs to be shared. I don't know if you need to pull more guys into that. And I think that's why this bottom 6 gets such a bad rap, because they just don't, they're never relied on to do anything. Minnesota's bottom 6 have been elite. They're the part of the reason they're in the second round.
Anaheim's 4th line.
Jeffrey Viel.
Is Jeffrey Viel
unbelievable.
Around the league.
Mr. Washy?
I'll tell you what,
Yes.
as a Bruins fan, I did not see the Jeffrey Viel sort of arc coming. I mean, that guy's been unbelievable for the Ducks.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just Petey's point that,
right.
And granted, some of the 4th liners for Edmonton were either hurt or unplayable. Last thing I'll say on Bowman,
sure.
Like my elevator pitch on why this guy should be fired is in Game 6. The key players that you got, your big trade, Tristan Jarry, your big signing, or your 2 big signings, Trent Frederick and Andrew Mangiapane. None of the 3 in the lineup. One of them is gone because you stapled a 1st-round pick to him just to get rid of him. That's Oilers talk, and I apologize. But
Connor Murphy outscored Connor McDavid.
Yes. Point Stan, got to keep him. Pizza Stan. I feel bad because I think it was probably Eileen who, when I set up my last point, mentioned what the Oilers were able to do against the Stars a couple of years ago, and Eileen said, like, damn it, DJ, move off stuff like this. I just feel very bad because the other thing we're talking about on today's show, other than John Chayka, is the Dallas Stars. So we will move on from what the Edmonton Oilers did to the Dallas Stars to what the Minnesota Wild did to the Dallas Stars. I know. Stars fans, you're in misery, but hey, we're not too different right now, okay? We're finally the same. Dallas Stars eliminated after 3 straight trips to the Western Conference Final. They lose in the first round. What do you do if you're the Dallas Stars? Because I've got an answer, and I feel that it's boring.
They're in trouble. I
What?
keep seeing with all these teams that are trying to get their window open and trying to get there. For the Dallas Stars, this is the team that again, you look down the middle of the ice, how important the middle of the ice is. Their injury to Rupe Hintz, that cost them dearly in this series because they couldn't play with pace. They couldn't play with the speed that they normally can play at when they're playing 5-on-5. They couldn't generate 5-on-5 because they couldn't get through the neutral zone. And you couldn't create any chances off of the rush, and a lot of that relies on Rupe Hintz. And then you put Huru down, and now you're really weak through the middle of the ice. I know Rantanen was hurt and banged up, and again, we've said that already with the Edmonton Oilers. Every team's banged up, and it's unfortunate because I think Mikko Rantanen, when you look at a year ago through 3 games, he was non-existent against Colorado. Then he put the team on his back and carried them into the next round. This year, he just couldn't do that. This team didn't have anything to grab onto offensively. They couldn't get anybody to help provide offense 5-on-5. You look across this lineup, and nobody was scoring other than Jason Robertson. I was concerned about the performance of Ottinger, another guy that I really like and I think has been a stalwart in Dallas, and part of the reason they've been so successful. I don't think he was at his best in this series. I think there were too many of those that you looked at and go, gosh, could he have had that one? This team, their window's closing. And can I stop saying in the playoffs, oh, that's a really stupid play by Jamie Benn, and he's going to the box? How many years? How many years?
I said this last night. This series very much felt like a competition between Jamie Benn and Mikko Rantanen as to who could do the dumbest shit that would reflect poorly on them and put the team in trouble.
But with Rantanen, you can expect maybe he's going to do something and generate something offensively, and he's might going to make a good play or protect the puck or get the puck to the net, and he still has that ability in him. But with Jamie Benn, no points in 6 games, penalties, and the worst part of his penalties is they're dumb. They're dumb retaliatory behind the play. They're not like, hey, wow, he took a guy to the net and he saved us a goal. It's not
and
bad.
He's the captain. He's the
captain of the team.
Making the stupidest decisions possible out there.
That's not a leader. That's not a leader. I'm sorry. You need to look at your leader and go, you're the guy that's got to walk away from that and help the rest of us walk away from it. So he doesn't help you on the offensive side. He creates problems on the defensive side. He takes too many penalties. And most importantly, when he's in the penalty box, the other team is scoring. So when you have going up against the Wild, whose power play is very good, stop. So I think Dallas is going to have to look and go, who are we? It's another team that struggled to defend, another team that puck watches too much in the defensive zone, and just had nobody that can create any offense against this tight defending Minnesota Wild team.
Here's what I do if I'm the Dallas Stars. Miro Heiskanen is signed until 2029. Asa Lindell is signed until 2030. Wyatt Johnson is signed until 2030. Roope Hintz is signed until 2031. Mikko Rantanen signed until 2033. Jake Ottinger signed until 2033. Thomas Harley signed till 2034. Endearing, derogatory, you be the judge. I do nothing. I do shit around the margins. I sign Jason Robertson. I just keep running it back, and that will sound maddening because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But famously, one team wins a year. I just like the Stars' chances too much at eventually breaking through if you keep taking kicks at it. The biggest thing you're risking is insanity, which is the same group is there, keeps not getting to the ultimate goal and starts to hate each other over it. But other than that, your group is so good. You have such a good core. Keep doing it. Don't do something crazy. Don't blow it up.
Yeah, here's where I'm at with Dallas. It's like, this is not a team that constantly crashes out in the first round. This is a team that goes deep at times, runs into a very good team like the Oilers and gets outplayed. The difference here is that it happened in the first round. Like the Minnesota Wild, at the end of the day, are a very, very good team, like a top 5 team in the NHL. I don't think that there's a lot of shame in losing to them in the first round, especially when the Stars had the injuries that they did have. I don't think that I would say do nothing, though. I think that the Stars need to address the right side of their blue line, as they've needed to do for years at this point. The right side of their blue line is not good enough. And going out and getting Tyler Myers was not a solution.
Insane.
Anybody who saw that and was like, this is going to fix their problems, has not paid attention to Tyler Myers. And then when Tyler Myers was up for a promotion or an increased opportunity in these playoffs, he looked like one of the worst players out on the ice, was a complete liability, ended up getting health bombed the very next game. Like, they need to fix that side of their defense, because if you have a hole that big in an area that is so important when you're going up against the elite teams in the league, it's going to be exposed time and time again. And so, like, that number is the number one priority. And yeah, there. So
do you do something about that group I just said then? Because I'm agreeing. Like,
if you need to peel away a piece from the front end to add in that spot, I think it's absolutely worth it, because if you have that hole in the blue line, you're probably going to keep losing.
So do you Taylor Hall Jason Robertson?
God,
I don't know who the guy is, and it's a 45-goal scorer. Like,
right, that's so scary.
Right.
Why was the urge to trade him all the time? What is it? Every 2 months we're talking about the Stars trading Jason Robertson, the only guy that can score in the playoffs, the only guy that can score during the regular season. But every time we're talking about trade, like, yeah, but sign him. He's your best player. Like, what are we doing? Like, and that's where the Jason Robertson trade. Are you out of your mind? And I know but you got to sign him. And we talked about addition from subtraction. Ben's going to be gone. And you look at if Sagan and Hintz are in the lineup for the Dallas Stars, two players that they rely on heavily for offense. If they're in the series, is the series different? Do they get that one more goal and at least able to extend this series? Maybe. I think you're right when you're talking about replacing people. There are not holes in the lineup. They just didn't play well enough other than injuries. I know they said they have a lot of trouble, meaning they didn't play well enough. And I don't know if they need to get that one more puck-moving defenseman on the right-hand side. Maybe that's the answer, but I think everybody just needs to play better. Ottinger needs to be lights out. He needs to be the best player. They need to get guys that can get to the net and create offense. And Ben can be there and disturb things, but helpful. Be that disturber, but don't take penalties. So you're right. They probably don't need to fix much with the roster, but you're going to have to do the things that you do, and you're going to have to do them better.
Okay. Chat is loudly saying, over my dead body, do you trade Jason Robertson? And that's how, like, again, my thing was, you make moves on the margins. If you can somehow get an awesome right side defenseman without doing that, that's amazing. But otherwise, I don't think you're making huge moves. Eileen, though, makes the correct point, though, because I probably would not trade Jason Robertson, but you don't do a over my dead body, are we trading Jason Robertson? You take calls on absolutely anything. And if there is a good version of the Taylor Hall trade where you can trade your young scorer for a young defenseman, then maybe, like, roster construction-wise, that makes sense to you. My thing is, I think if you're trading Jason Robertson, you're losing the trade no matter what.
Most likely, yeah. And you don't need to. Like, that's the thing. You do not need to trade Jason Robertson. And the other side of that, though, is that his value may not be higher than it is right now. And that's obviously removing the contract situation. But yeah, I mean, there's Stars fans in the chat who are believers in Nils Lundqvist being the solution on the right side. But even if you do believe that, like, you need reinforcements, because if a player gets hurt over the course of a 2-month playoff run and you want to win the Stanley Cup, you need to have the patchwork behind those players. And so you don't need to trade Jason Robertson to acquire patchwork players, but you need the patchwork in place. Petey, I wanted to ask you brought up the Ottinger of it all. Part of this story in goaltending in this series was Ottinger once again being outdueled, but the other half of it was that Jesper Wallstedt looked like the best goalie in the entire playoffs through the first round. Where do you balance that? Like, where is your belief in Jake Ottinger at this point?
It's funny because I say this, it seems like I say it every year, and it's usually saying it in the Western Conference Finals that he's a guy that can carry this team to a Stanley Cup championship, but he always seems to fall short, and he doesn't give his best in those performances. And we saw it in last year's Western Conference Finals where I thought he needed to be better. And the year before that, I thought Ottinger needed to be a little bit better. And I like the way he plays. I like the way he moves. He's a competitor, but you go back and even look at the goals last night. I think Ottinger is at those. I don't want to say he's not a playoff performer yet. We put that tag on Hellebuck once, but I get concerned. Technically, he's one of the best goalies in the league. And the way he moves and his size and the way he can get out on the puck, all of those things are true. But still, those pucks seem to leak through him. I think he needs a hard reset. I think he needs to take this summer, go on a fishing trip, and put this out of his head for a while, because the better goalie in the series was clearly the rookie at the other end. And Wallstedt made huge saves, not just the saves he's supposed to make, but the huge saves. And that's what gets you to the second round. There are teams that are good enough that you can get good goaltending. We've talked about this year after year after year. You can be good and win a cup. Darcy Kemper was good for the Colorado Avalanche. The team in front of him was outstanding. Jesper Wallstedt was good plus. He did what he needed to do, and he made the bigger saves. I do get concerned with a rookie goalie as this stage gets bigger and the attention gets bigger and the pressure gets bigger. We saw it in the regular season where he went off on that huge run to start his career this year, and then it kind of fell back down to earth. I wonder, you don't have to ride the wave very long in the playoffs. It's 16 wins. He's got 4 of them. It's just, can they ride this all the way? I don't know before Wallstedt goes, okay, this is who Wallstedt really is. He's coming back down to earth a little bit. I am going to be interested to see if he can maintain this level as they go into one of the toughest buildings in the league and the best team, I think, in the Western Conference in Colorado.
Okay, we've had you forever, and buckle up because I'd like to keep you longer with a few more questions. Bruins Sabres, Game 6 tonight. Where do you think this series goes?
Oh, this one's been interesting. This is a pretty even matchup. I know that the score, the 6-1 score, kind of put this one lopsided. I still think the Buffalo Sabres are going to close this series out. I still think that with Lyon in the net, I think they've got a new surge in the way that they got a little bit of new life. Not taking anything away from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, but Lyon's given them a little bit different swagger. I like this team. I like how hard they play on the wall. I like how hard they play together. We talked about the bottom 6, and I know Oslin's probably out of this lineup, but you look at what Josh Doan and that bottom 6 has done for this team. Again, their ability to get to the blue paint, how hard they are to defend. This team from top to bottom, they play hard. Their motor is always going. They play with pace. Their defenseman can move the puck. Their defenseman adds in their offense. I think this is the team that's going to get through this series. Now, Boston, the big equalizer is Swayman, because Swayman's performance in the last game was phenomenal. Now, I know he struggled the game before and he got pulled, but if he can play like he did in the last game, Boston can absolutely win this. Boston can only win this game if it's 1-0, 2-1. That's how I see a Boston Bruin win. It's got to be a low-scoring, low-event game for them to get over this Buffalo Sabre team that does so good at getting pucks in that and have the ability to put on so much offense, except on their power play, an area that they've been great at all regular season, and they just haven't been able to get through on the power play, partly because, again, of Swayman. So I think it's Swayman against the world, and that's the way the Boston Bruins can win this series. If Swayman absolutely does what we wanted Ottinger to do in the Dallas series, put the team on his back, I think Buffalo's too good. I think the line has given them a burst. I think their back end has moved the puck too well, and I think they're just too big, strong, and attack the blue paint too much up front. I give this series to Buffalo.
We've talked a lot about the Philadelphia Flyers and the energy that they have. How much of a chance do you give them going up against the Carolina Hurricanes? Like, is this the Hurricanes' year?
Yeah, I don't want to be hard on the Flyers. As a team, I said wouldn't make the playoffs. Said that nobody down the middle. This isn't a good team. They're not ready to win. But that was the plan in Philly. This is ahead of schedule, way ahead of schedule for the Philadelphia Flyers. We've seen what Martone can do, Barkey can do. They're young talent that they are going to have for years to come. But Philadelphia is doing what you need to do. They're playing as a group of 20, and they're getting good goaltending. That's dangerous. Unfortunately, everything that they do well, Carolina does better. You talk about Philadelphia defending well, Carolina defends better. You talk about Philadelphia doubling up on the puck, Carolina does it, but they do it harder. I think Carolina is going to they're just too good. The Philadelphia Flyers can try to hang in this. Vladar might be able to hang around, but Carolina's they just smother you. They give you no life. They give you no room. I don't think it's the funnest hockey to watch. Sorry to Carolina Hurricanes fans, that style of play, but man, is it successful. And I think this series will tilt heavily in the favor of the Carolina Hurricanes. Sorry to Rick Tocchet and the Flyers, who've done an exceptional job this year. I just think Carolina's way too much for them.
I mean, so I think that Carolina, with their path, like, would you think that of all the years we've been waiting for them to take the next step, is like this the year that we've all been waiting for the Carolina Hurricanes to be like, okay, we've arrived?
I think so, but The problem with Carolina, and it's something I say about Rod Bridamore coach team, they play the same way games 1 through 82 as they do 83 through the playoffs. It's the same team. You know exactly what to prepare for and exactly what they're going to do. You just have to have the weapons and the skill to be able to be better than that. And that's hard. That's the hard part. So I think their path through Philly is easy. And right now, I don't know. I've always liked Tampa. Tampa's disappointing me this year with their inability to get everybody going at the same time. They're starting to look older. They're starting to look slower. Vasilevsky's not unbeatable anymore. That Montreal's got the spark and the speed. You're going to end up, in my scenario, it's Montreal and Buffalo. A heck of a series that are going to play fast, and they're going to both run into that wall. They're going to run into the wall of the Carolina Hurricanes. And I don't know how either of those teams, even with their young skill and speed, are able to overcome what Carolina's been able to do. I've got Carolina now that I've had to erase my Tampa Bay pick. I've got Carolina in the finals. Now, that's different. You get to the finals, you're going to have to play Colorado, Minnesota. If they play Anaheim, Carolina rolls them, just because I don't think they defend well enough. But if they got to play Colorado and Minnesota, it's going to be a series. I think the skill, the ability to play on both sides of the puck, the ability to defend for both Colorado and Minnesota, the goaltending both of those teams are getting. They've both been able to play Minnesota more so with their weight and with McCarron and Foligno, that they can play a little bit heavier. That Minnesota team, that might be their year if they can get over Colorado. So I think Carolina will get there, but I think they fall short again.
That was the last thing I wanted to ask about. Minnesota, Colorado. That matchup should rock. How do you think it'll play out?
Yeah, it's interesting because this we've said the Central Division has been on everybody's radar since the playoffs were about to start, and we've been received what we expected, and now Minnesota has to go against a juggernaut. Colorado's been rested. The problem now is rest versus rust. Minnesota's riding high. They got the big win. I'm sure they've got bumps and bruises, but they're feeling really good about themselves. Colorado's got to shake the dust off. And game one, that first 10 minutes, if I'm Colorado, I'm playing really smart hockey. That first 10 minutes of game one, just dump it out of your end and over the red in the other end. And I know it sounds stupid for a team that plays so fast, but you got to get your legs back against a team that's feeling it right now. I still believe in Colorado. I think their goaltending, I think Wedgwood has been very good, makes a save he needs to make in front of this team. Cale Makar versus Hughes is the matchup we've all been wanting to see as hockey fans. But they're going to have to face something in Minnesota that they didn't face in Dallas, and that's the ability for a team to be able to generate offense 5-on-5. And that's something they didn't face in the first round. Colorado can do that in spades, and they can activate in the offensive zone, meaning their defense are coming down off the blue line. Their forwards are going to create more space by moving around a lot. I still like Colorado in this series, but this is razor thin. The way Faber and Quinn Hughes are playing, I think Colorado's plan will be the hard, heavy, and do not miss an opportunity on the forecheck to get those guys against the glass. I know Dallas wanted to do that. Dallas didn't have the speed to get to those guys on the forecheck. You look at what they can do with Marty Necas and McKinnon and their ability to get in on the forecheck. I think they are going to punish Faber and Hughes, and I think it'll be a little bit different on their ability to do what they've been doing against Dallas. I like Colorado, but this is going to go 7.
I'm just praying that Joel Eriksson Ek is not hurt beyond, like, I know that he returned after going into the boards last night, but it looked bad, and he's such an X factor for that team, especially defensively. So I really hope that he's not hurt, but I'm very much looking forward to that series and all of it. Quinn Hughes got his fucking moment last night. Quinn Hughes had his like Minnesota legacy game, and hopefully there's more, but that was electric as hell.
If there's any doubts, that should erase them. This kid is, I didn't see him enough in Vancouver, but these playoffs have been wow. And he's playing more than any other player in the playoffs. Dude, he looks like he's my size or smaller. Like, how are you not exhausted? He's playing 30-some minutes a night, every single night, hard minutes, defensive minutes, ozone minute. Like, he's all over doing what he is doing. And people say, wow, you can't put him in the same breath as Makar. Dude, come on.
So
we've
had many of these conversations like off the show about Makar versus Quinn Hughes, and I'm a Quinn Hughes truther. I don't think that there's a defenseman in the entire National Hockey League that dictates a game and manipulates a game like Quinn Hughes manipulates a game, and it is spectacular. Like, I obviously know that Makar has a bit more firepower and explosiveness to him in terms of the sexiness of his game, but Quinn Hughes manipulates the fuck out of almost every game that he plays, and it's I've never seen anything like it.
I think Cale Makar is the best defenseman in the league, but this was a stupid year for you're not allowed to compare blank to Cale Makar, where like Cale Makar didn't have as good a year as some defensemen. So
they're different. Do you want them both? Of course. Makar's advantage is his those speed bursts that you talked about. His ability to get that first 2 or 3 strides is different than Hughes. It is, but Hughes's ability to make the plays, to switch directions, and his ability to do it so casually and so easily, and his ability to make those plays through 3 or 4 guys on a pass on the tape is phenomenal. Makar still does more on both ends of the puck. He's more physical. He can do more in front of the net. He can separate players in the defensive zone. So I think all around 200-foot player. Yeah, Makar's probably the guy, but Hughes, if you sit as a Colorado Avalanche fan and say you can't compare these two, you're out of your mind. Wait till this series happens and look how Hughes controls the game. Makar does a lot of good things. Hughes controls the game. So I think these are 2 elite players that you can, it's pick 'em. It's a pick 'em. Take who you want. I'll take either guy on my team. So head to head, you can finally see who is at this moment is going to help propel their team on to the finals.
Yeah, they're both elite in different ways. Like they just kind of profile as different types of elite defensemen.
It was like back in the day, like when Tuukka Rask and Carey Price were facing each other in the playoffs, and there was like a lot of like, so who would you rather have? And I'm like, I feel like each team would rather have their guy. Like they're both awesome, and it should be great. Petey, it feels like just yesterday you were giving us all the tea on John Chayka. This has been a long conversation, but it's been so insightful, and we love you, Diva.
I will say this: you guys make it like this is like just 3 guys sitting around talking hockey. I know, Sean, we didn't get to see your lovely face today, but it's just sitting around talking hockey, and I think that's why I like it so much. And I think this is a forum that I think we can really say what we feel, and we'll see how much trouble this gets me in. Monitor it, and we'll see what the internet gods. Will I delete my Twitter by the end of the day? Probably not, but we'll see who comes after me, and it's, you know what, it's fine.
Great use of monitor. Also, I would be remiss if I did not bring up the chat is begging, pleading, swearing, demanding to see more of your cat. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, Lenny's taking off. That's enough.
Okay,
Cats don't do what we want them to. Lenny's gonna hit it next time, and I hope there is a next time soon. And I will say this: if
now 2024 rough relay, Lenny's taking off.
Petey said, "If I don't come back on the show, I did not kill myself."
Yeah, and if the bridges have been burned, and I have a feeling I will not be joining the Toronto Maple Leaf staff anytime soon, so that may or may not be true. But if the bridges have been burned across this vast NHL landscape, I hope there is always a home for me here in the chaos.
Always.
You are the best,
Thanks,
Petey.
guys.
We love you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, bye, Diva. The Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah, talk about the teams that are still in the playoffs. Okay, the Carolina Hurricanes have a freak on their hands. They posted this video yesterday with the caption, hey, Caniacs, welcome to my crib. Lenny, probably. There's only one Lenny we like here, and it's Petey's cat.
Well, isn't Connor McDavid's
Yeah, that's what I was
dog?
referencing with the rough relay when he said, "Oh, Lenny's taken off."
Yeah, okay.
So that is the Hurricanes think they're tough by posting a video of a freak robot. Read the room. We don't like it.
Kill it.
Somebody's got to kick that thing. Somebody's got to kill it.
I saw some talk about
Drown
Green
it.
perhaps yeeting it.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yes. I mean, if the Flyers did the whole here's the penguin that will throw off the balcony. Imagine if they ponied up the money to buy one of those things and yeeted it off the balcony. I mean, I'm sure that would be dangerous and the cleanup would be tough, but worth it.
But like with Cam York's stick, I feel that Flyers fans are willing to take that risk and perhaps endure some pain for the moment.
Yes. Speaking of Cam York and his stick, did you see the update this morning?
No.
The older gentleman who ended up with his stick is at practice, and he got to meet Cam York.
Oh, amazing!
There's more to it than that.
Uh-oh.
You didn't see the other context. Cam York wanted his stick back. That's why he was there.
No way.
Cam York took his stick back. Yeah, he gave him tickets to the Flyers' next playoff game in exchange for the stick. But Cam York said he wanted that stick back, and he's going to frame it. My first reaction to that was probably shouldn't have thrown that shit into a crowd of people if you wanted it so bad. But yeah,
Hey,
I mean,
emotions get the best of us.
Yeah, but he got the stick back. That's why
Cam York
he invited him.
Cam York is a friend of the show. I don't like that behavior. You better give more than tickets to one game for that stick. If you want that, then that old gentleman, what do we call that man?
That decrepit old man.
That man better get more than tickets to a game? Come on.
Okay, here's my problem with it. He wants that stick back to frame it. That stick is hot. Brother, that stick just scored an overtime series
you think
clinching
you'd keep
goal.
it, right?
Play it out. Like I thought you were gonna say he wanted the stick back because he's superstitious. There's a lot of magic in that one. A lot of players will not move on from their stick when they feel like they've got something in it. I don't know about framing it when it's fully hot.
Throwing the stick and then asking for it back is so much less cool than like launching the stick, knowing that that's some like fishing behavior, reverse fishing behavior. A lot of people fish, they catch a fish and they throw it back. As the great Mitch Hedberg said, they don't want the fish, they just want to make it late for something. Like if you throw that stick, you threw that stick.
Okay.
York also gave him a signed jersey and another game used stick. So you did give him more than tickets.
Ooh, I'm scared. Come on, Cam. That's a friend of the show. We talked to him when we were in Philadelphia, famously.
Did we?
I believe we did. Didn't we chat with him?
Nope. That definitely didn't happen. At least that the conversation I was a part of. Jamie and Trevor.
We talked to Drysdale.
Jamie Drysdale and Trevor Zegras.
Maybe I'm confusing people from Anaheim with people who played in Anaheim. I think we talked to Cam York. Maybe not. Maybe I'm making that up. But
you're definitely making that up.
Hurricanes, everyone's rooting for the Flyers now. They probably already were, but can't have freaks in the mix, okay? You just can't do it. It's bad behavior.
It's really
also
weird.
I need to note a little show programming. Edmonton Oilers absolutely fucked us because we have been in negotiations for a while to get a flyer on the show, and we were going to do it today as long as it didn't become a travel day for the Philadelphia Flyers. Oilers Game 7 with the Ducks was going to be on Saturday. There is not a Game 7. It is famously not necessary, so the NHL moves Game 1 they set Game 1 for Hurricanes Flyers for Saturday. Flyers traveling today. Can't get the player on.
Are we sure that they wouldn't have played it on Saturday anyway?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All I know is the Flyers didn't know until today until late last night whether they were going to play Saturday. So that tells me that the Oilers fucked us in more ways than one. Okay? It stinks. Piss me off a bit, but I'll tell you who we did have on the show. That's Alina Mueller. The full cut is on YouTube now. And oi, 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 when I watched that Mueller goal in Game 1 against the Charge, baby, that shit was the best goal that I watched across all 3 hockey games I watched last night. She is such a fucking killer. Sean, you were watching live.
I was. That game was a fucking mess. There were so many penalties.
Yes.
So many penalties.
So,
in that game.
I was a little concerned.
I did tune in. I jumped into the YouTube chat. I picked a weird time to jump in because I believe it was the first period. And as soon as I jumped in, chat was going bananas. I think there was like a controversial hit right before I joined. Somebody got a 5-minute major.
Yep.
It was a pretty bad hit, and I think somebody got hurt. And chat was like, that person needs to go to prison. And the PWHL admin was like, listen, we respect all opinions here, but you guys need to calm down. And the officials are trying their best. They have a hard job. Please stop sending death threats in the YouTube chat. And I was like, damn, John wasn't lying. PWHL admin has their hands crazy.
full. Yeah, they're working.
It is up at all times. It is nuts. I tried to do a little digging because now as I said yesterday, I'm leaving this postseason with something. One of my teams is going to win something. Okay. And I want to go to games. It's tough to do when they're in Lowell. Famously, I'm leaning Sabres in this series. I am rooting for the Sabres in the Bruins Sabres series. I want the Bruins to lose so the Fleet can move their games to the Garden. If the Cup final is at the Garden against, I don't know who I have in that Minnesota Montreal series, but let's say it's a Montreal-Boston final at the Garden. Goodness gracious. I would love that so much. Or even like I don't know if the Aganis thing is ever going to happen again. Like, get these games to Boston.
Yeah.
The Fleet also introduced last night, as opposed to like a lot of teams will have those like those big signs with the little slots for the puck.
Oh yeah,
they have a golden briefcase. They just pop that shit open,
deal or no
and place
deal.
the puck in there.
Oh no,
Money in the Bank style.
No, Gold Case. What do you know about Gold Case?
No, that's cold case.
No, Gold Case.
That's
Cold case.
That's I completely forgot to tell you this. I watched some of season 1 of 40 Rock the other day.
A 30 Rock. Wait, so do you
30
know
Rock,
that
yeah.
Gold Case?
So
yeah,
I know
Gold,
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So Gold
It's,
Case.
what's his name's show idea?
Yeah, Kenneth, the page,
Yeah.
comes up with an idea called Gold Case, and it's like Deal or No Deal, where all these women are holding briefcases, and you got to figure out
you've told me this. You've told me this.
which one has gold inside of it, and they're like, okay, it's time to play Gold Case, and they show all these women holding their case like one hand, and there's a woman that's like,
Just struggling for her life.
Hell yeah.
it's yeah, the guy's like the heavy one, that one.
The only thing about the Fleet playing at the Garden is that if they do that, they'll have to presumably dictate it around unless the Celtics want to keep fucking around.
I was gonna
they'll have to
say, I don't know if
dictate it around the Celtics.
I think the Garden might be available
Empty.
soon.
Vacant.
No, Bruins. Bruins are they're there tonight, and they'll be there again next week.
Speaking of being there tonight, we are going to go live this evening, no matter what. Okay, after the Bruins game, Pete and I have some responsibilities that might maybe interfere with like the early
Timing of
going
it,
of the 10 o'clock hour, but we are going to go live after that game because we're either going to be discussing a Game 7, the two most beautiful words in hockey. If the I was going to say that the two most beautiful words in hockey are
I'm joking.
no, they're there.
And second, two most beautiful words in hockey.
I'm joking.
Nice one. We're either going to have a Game 7 or we're going to have Sean gloating on Pete. And I feel like every moment that we don't show Sean's face this round, like during the day, is a wasted opportunity. You know, like we should still be in Buffalo probably. We should just be following Sean around.
I don't think I could.
If I were still in Buffalo, I think I'd be dead.
You?
Yes.
Are you talking like health wise?
Yeah, just like not sleeping,
That's true.
doing too much shit.
I have eaten nothing but salad since coming back from
I was
Buffalo.
gonna say
I've been a healthy
I got
boy.
Game 5, I guess it was. I went and got a nice chicken Caesar salad during that game because I needed literally a single green thing in my body.
You would die of natural causes.
Yeah.
I would die probably of homicide.
Homicide.
Oh,
Homicide.
speaking of, I had a tweet go viral last night. Doesn't happen often. But who was calling the game on TNT yesterday?
Which one?
The Ducks game. Who was calling that game?
I don't recall.
I forget who either, but in the third period, Oilers are down. I can't remember if they were down 2 goals or 3 goals at that point, but the broadcaster said,
Oh, yeah.
if you're breaking the period down into segments of 5 minutes, the first one has come and gone. And I tweeted, no, I'm not breaking the period down into segments of 5 minutes. I'm Googling whether boxing gyms are open near me so I can trick someone into beating me to death. I was pretty sure that was going to get I was going to get some sort of notification of you're not allowed to tweet shit like that. Like, knock that off. Are you okay? And instead, the algorithm, I think, loved that and just showed it to as many people as it possibly could.
That was pretty good. I don't know if you need to trick anybody. I feel like some people
If
would
I could
sign
get
up.
someone to just beat me to death,
yeah.
if I just did like a kissing booth for End Me,
I feel like all three of us could. It wouldn't take very long for us to find people to sign up to beat us to death.
let me think. Who would beat Pete to death? Who would beat me to death? I think I actually do have some like straight up people that are like,
Some solid candidates.
let me do it.
Let's get rid of that guy.
Just give me, but they
Your
me the
lovely
opportunity.
girlfriend after you yell "oops" in the kitchen.
No,
Today's
no,
the
no,
day.
no. No, she was very. She's a loving person. She loves me and I love her. She was very good about the whole Oilers thing. She was very sad for me. She was very upset.
Well, she's also
that-
an Oilers
yes,
fan herself. You
Yes.
brought her into that life.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel so guilty about having brought her into it. She's like really there with me. I saw the thing that Big Cat said about like the superpower is like having a good, like when you have a good partner, it's a superpower because anything that you go through, you're going through together. You got a team. You can work it all out. It does feel better living with someone who's also like,
This sucks. Yeah.
well, this fucking sucks. Because it would stink if I were just moping around and she was like, everything is good. It's nice out. I'd be like,
Yeah.
it's nice out? I have allergies too. Did you forget?
Welcome to my life. Ellen doesn't really give a shit about the Bruins and is kind of happy when the Bruins get eliminated because of like what they do to my mental state. So,
But how does she react to it? Like,
Yeah,
does
sometimes
does
she
try
tries
and
to cheer
console
me
you, or
up.
does she leave you alone?
sometimes she tries to console me, and like
God,
that's the
that's
toughest.
gotta be the
like,
worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly. It's the worst.
You don't want that
Because
arm on your shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I'm not, and I don't want to be like mean or rude, so I kind of just
You gotta sit
allow
there
her
and
to
take
do
it,
that,
yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
God, you don't understand. You don't
I was at-
understand.
I was at my ex-girlfriend's house with her whole family when the Bills lost with 13 seconds remaining when they took that game against the Chiefs. I had to remove myself. I had to remove myself from that entire situation because they were all like, "Ah." I'm like, "No, this is what
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
gonna
it
do
sucks
for
when you're in a
privacy."
group of people and someone does like you can't believe it happened and it's quiet. And then just like any
Yeah.
voice is like, oh, that sucks. And you're like, shut the fuck up about that sucks.
Genuinely, I think that I would rather have somebody who is a fan of the opposite team be like,
Yeah,
fuck
100%.
you, fuck
100%.
you,
Yeah.
eat shit.
I did like it, but
We're the
people
best.
were giving me like quack 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 memes, like all that. Like remind me of why this is all good. I want to see the winning team happy more than I want to see someone be like, man, so that's bad for you. But also,
you're
like,
the biggest You're the biggest. You do that all the time. You've done that this whole playoff run.
well,
Sean's
that
raising
was
a
what
good
I was
point.
going to say is it's always well intentioned, but nothing's going to make you feel good.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not I don't doubt it's well intentioned. It's just I don't want it. I don't want the consoling
the
attempts.
exact opposite of what I want. In fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I already saw there's a lot of people like I know we haven't gotten to super chats yet, but there were a handful of like sorry DJ super chats, and there's a good chance, or not a good chance, but there is a chance obviously that come Monday my life has been ruined. That we come to this live show on Monday and I don't want a single goddamn, which I know probably is asking for more, but I don't want a single apology. I don't want any that feel bad, Sean. That makes it a million times worse.
Well, Sean, you don't even know about the world of hurt you might be in because I had a fun little thought earlier in the week, which was I bet there's enough stills of Pete that would be funny to post in a carousel if the Bruins got eliminated. So let me see what I can do. Spent a little time on Photoshop, went through some recent episodes, went through some pictures, everything, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be it. If the Bruins lose, I'm gonna post a carousel from What Chaos that says Bruins eliminated and a bunch of funny Pete things, and I'll set it to misery. I texted Evan and I was like, hey, what do you think of this? And he was like, $1 billion idea. It'll crush. And I was like, cool. And then 2 days later, the Oilers lost game 4. And I was like, if I'm going to do it for Pete, I'll have to do it for myself as well. So going into their respective game 5s, I was like, all right, they'll both get eliminated. I'll drop Pete's and then I'll drop mine later in the night. And that'll be a fun little thing. So far, I have only posted a carousel of myself hating my fucking life. This plan has backfired so horribly. But, Sean, you bet your fucking bippy, if your boys lose tonight, I'm getting to work on yours.
as you should. 100%.
Truer words,
Yeah,
Adam.
absolutely.
The problem
absolutely
with
should.
tonight, and like I haven't spent much time worrying about tonight or being like in my emotions or whatever. The problem with tonight is that if the Bruins win, I'm going to trick myself into thinking that they're going to win this series based off of the circumstances, and I'm going to get let down, or like I'm opening myself up to be let down. And I've already pre-grieved the Bruins losing. I think like logically I can absolutely wrap my head around them not winning this series. But if they go to a game 7 and it all comes down to 60 minutes of play against a Sabres team that has blown a 3-1 lead to get to the game 7, I am going to be disappointed and heartbroken if the Bruins don't end up winning that game. And fuck, that's going to suck, but it's going to be sick if they win.
I mean, quite honestly, if you could guarantee me the Sabres would win in game 7, I'd lose this game by 1,000 goals.
Just to see my pain.
So much. See your pain, see Boston's pain, win at home in front of the fans. Like, that would be preferable. I don't want to find out, though. Much rather take care of business tonight. But
yeah, I mean,
you would say you don't want to know. Oh.
I'll absolutely open myself up to the potential heartbreak, just to keep the season alive, keep the dream alive for a few more days, and get to a game 7. I mean, it would be tough for Gary if we didn't get a single game 7.
Yeah,
dude.
After all his talk about how sick the first round is.
I know it was what Gary wanted ultimately, but no way in hell that Stars Wild series should have been a first-round series.
Dare I ask, if there's a game 7, do we make plans?
What, to go?
To either go?
I'm not doing it.
Or to...
I'm not going.
You might quit your job if I ask you to come here so we can all be in the same place.
Yeah, I think it's unfair to ask
Buffalo.
Sean to leave Buffalo with the game 7. I think
in Buffalo.
I'm open to doing like a stream of the game and sending Sean on location just in case the Sabres win, to get like a man on the street chaos afterwards. But I'm certainly not going anywhere. That'd be my nightmare.
Even if you had like perfect tickets.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it. And like, I have not even thought about going to tonight's game, just based off of how poorly game 4 went, and I just don't want to be in that building. I don't.
If the game was in Boston, I 100% would come to Boston to go to the game. Mm-hmm. There's nothing I think I would enjoy more than being in Boston as the Sabres win game 7 to eliminate the Bruins from the playoffs. I think I'd have more fun doing that than I had at game 1.
I mean, what about
if I survived?
What about coming to game 6 tonight? I don't know if you could get there in time, but like, would you be into that? Would you go solo if we got you one ticket
immediately?
Yeah, if we got you one ticket,
that'd be tough because I think I need a Bruins fan with me. I think ultimately
there would be Bruins fans there.
No, but I need somebody with me who's like in on the joke, because if the Sabres win, it'd be like I'd be outnumbered. And I would 100% deserve to get my ass kicked based on the way I behave, but it wouldn't be a fair fight.
You don't have a shield. You don't have like a Bruins
But this is like
shield.
you don't have to look up the boxing gym. You would already be there you would already have the people ready to beat you to death.
Yeah, but you want to be beat to death as like I deserve
put me out of my
this.
Just like put me out of my misery.
Yes, like it's some people who have that like weird emotional trauma where like things go badly for them and they want somebody to kick their ass. Sean would get his ass kicked in a happy moment and wouldn't want to have his ass kicked.
Sean, I gotta say, maybe I could blow off some TV responsibilities tonight. Don't if you're listening, NBC Sports Boston. Nope, I'll be there. But if I were to blow off some responsibilities tonight, the get-in is $170 on TickPick. Shut out TickPick.
The flight is $430.
So for $570, you could see your team, and I would want to do this in the shittiest seats possible. Last row.
I got sweet tickets from TickPick for Game 4. I didn't even mention
you were
this.
In a
like
suite?
No, like sweet.
Very good.
SWEET. My tickets were awesome for Game 4. That's an underrated part of why that sucked ass, is because awesome tickets for a great playoff game, and I didn't enjoy any of it.
Huh. Yeah, I think being up in shitty seats would make it better, because those are the Bruins fans that would actually kick my ass. It's not the shirt and ties, the suits down in the lower level.
Oh, I mean, Sean, I am looking at row 8 of section 301, center ice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. 211 a piece. Just
Damn, not bad. That's really
you should
good.
move. You should like get moving, I mean. What?
I
Get to
definitely could
driving
not
right
make
now,
it there.
you'd probably miss a period. That's it.
I think I'd miss the majority of that game. Yeah. Don't think that's really in the cards.
Okay, well, we'll do something after the game, assuming Sean does not get here because he's a coward. But that's okay. I've heard that he's not worried, but maybe he is. Could you give us a slate, please, as we wrap up this? Oh, you know what? Actually, before we do this slate, I would like to tell you about. That's right. I'm going to tell you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks? What? Yeah, the playoff push is heating up and tournament hoops are here. There's no better way to cash in on the high-flying hoops action than Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app. Every bucket, every dime, and every win means more when you're playing on Prize Picks, so don't pass up your next shot with Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineups. We've told you about it. It's the glass of wine that accompanies the nice sporting event, the nice meal that is a sporting event, and it's simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in and pick from all your favorite sports, anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code WhatChaos to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WhatChaos to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Do it with Prize Picks. Before we get to the slate, I'll also say, keep an eye out. We're going to make you whole on the Patreon front. We're going to give you an episode that I believe should come out today. I think we're going to tape it shortly after this. It's going to be a bunch of stuff, but there will be a good amount of Maroon 5, maybe some HBO's Girls, and I can't decide whether or not I've got
some Sabrina Carpenter.
I've got a lot of Sabrina Carpenter in the chamber right now, and I don't know whether it should be fired on a Patreon episode or where, but there's going to be lots on Patreon, so get on there.
I feel like you can double dip. Whatever you're considering doing outside of the Patreon, do it on the Patreon.
Well, I was going to do it on the Patreon either way. I just didn't know if we do it on the episode or if we do a separate little thing. But it's going to be very, very nice. So get there on the Patreon. Now, Sean, if you could please give us the slate. It's a 3-gamer. Game 6 as the Tampa Bay Lightning try to stay alive. This one is in Montreal. Centre Bell on a Friday night. It's going to be un film. 7 p.m. Eastern, United States and Canada. You can catch it on ESPN2. You see Canadians touching the cup in the graphic. Maybe bad luck. Sabres at Bruins, Game 6. We've talked about it a lot. 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And the Golden Knights will try to close out the Mammoth, who are touching the cup in the graphic, at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Tusk to cup.
Tusk to cup.
I need the Montreal Canadiens to finish the job.
Yeah.
That's
I
going
want
to be
go to Montreal so bad.
That will be, at least one of us will be going to Montreal. If
Man, I'll get borderline problematic if I go to Montreal.
I think we're already borderline.
Right on, brother.
Yeah.
I'm down to go to Montreal.
I'm going to learn some French.
I think
we talked about this.
We have some tentative plans for Montreal.
News to me. Sean, do we have tentative plans?
No, it's not news to you. We've had calls about potentially doing something.
Oh
in
yeah.
Montreal.
If
certainly
Sabres
news to me.
Habs happens, we're going to be involved in one.
I mean, if
way or
Bruins
another.
Habs happen, we're going to be involved.
Damn.
Oh God, you want to talk about me learning how to speak French?
Come on, get involved.
I will spend my real money on a Montreal Canadiens jersey if the Sabres.
You don't have to. We have extras.
Yeah, we have extras. I don't have
me?
the stuff. I want to make a Youppi one. I think it's like a 52. I think you could get into a 52.
I can get a 52. That's a large, right? Yeah.
You get into a 52. It's just a little 52. All right. Let's also. What was our start your engines parlay yesterday?
Mikko Rantanen 2 points and a Vasily Podkolzin in goal.
Sports Interaction, Sportsbook and Casino. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. Bet the action on every period, every shift, every shot with Canada's homegrown sportsbook. Sports Interaction, Ontario only 19+. Please play responsibly. We came very close to hitting that. Rantanen had a
Ran out at point.
1 point.
A point, yes.
Pod Colson scored, obviously. So, damn, got really close. Can you believe the Oilers wasted a 50-goal postseason from Vasily Podkolzin? God damn it. I can't
believe it. Yeah.
I went to the NHL stats page and like point leaders and everything. It's like Leon Draisaitl, like just playoffs as usual. All Oilers at the top, and they're fucking out of it. It drives me crazy. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. From puck drop to overtime, bet with live odds on every play with easy deposits and payouts. Go to sportsinteraction.com/whatchaos to open an account. Ontario only 18+. Please play responsibly. Tomorrow, the Victoire and the Victoire is this one in
Montreal.
Is it in Montreal?
Yeah, Montreal is the 2 seed.
Yeah, Montreal I think is the 1 seed.
They were tied in points with
Yeah.
Boston. I don't know how ultimately.
I think they were the 1 seed and they chose the Frost.
Crazy move. Bold
Yeah.
move.
I think Charge
2
fans thought they were going to choose the Charge and they chose the Frost.
The Frost are 1 championship away from winning 3 straight championships in the fashion of the National Lacrosse League Buffalo Bisons or Bandits, who won back-to-back-to-back NL championships.
Are you rooting for?
That's me anytime lacrosse chat comes up.
Are you rooting for the Frost or the Victoire here? Because as a Fleet fan, you should be like anyone but Montreal.
Montreal.
But I want a Montreal-Boston final so bad. It
Are you
would
kidding me?
rock for the game.
If the Yankees were in the National League, I would want a Red Sox Yankees World Series every year for the rest of my life. Like hating them makes me hating a team makes me want, and I don't really have any strong feelings about Montreal, but like I want them to get as close as possible. I want them to be able to almost taste it and then strip that shit from them. That makes it even sweeter.
That's why I like opening it up to reseeding the Final Four in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I want to see those like division rival matchups. I want to see the conference rival matchups. I want to see cross-conference matchups.
I don't know if you know this. It has been going around, at least on Sabres Twitter a little bit. The Bruins and Sabres, if they are going to win a Stanley Cup, are going to have to go through, presumably, the entire Adams division, assuming that the Quebec Nordiques / Montreal or Colorado Avalanche make the Stanley Cup final. They'll have to go through all Adams division teams to win the Stanley Cup.
Let's do super chats from Yandere, I believe. Okay, DJ, you know the drill. Do the thing. LGD. I like the Ducks. I love the Ducks. Like I said, this wasn't a series where you come away hating the team. Oilers fans shouldn't feel any sort of way, positively or negatively, about the Ducks, especially negatively. What's crazy to me is that Dostal was as bad as he was in this series, and they got through it. I thought that if the Ducks were going to win, I thought that Dostal was going to go on a run and be like a Conn Smythe candidate. But what do I know? Gabby says, I'm a sad, sad girl. Is this what this feels like? How does one enjoy playoffs when their team is not in the fight? Any tips, Sean? Oh, yeah.
Don't know. Don't remember. Don't have any use for that anymore. Don't have any use for that knowledge anymore. Threw it out.
Pothead. Swagaslaw says, thanks for the new vocal stims for me to shout while working at the bar. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. From Valeria, just says their name. Steph says
she sets another
roll
one
back
later.
up though.
Was that
the Mexico? What is MX?
Yeah,
okay.
I would assume so. MX,
yeah. Steph says generational night for Minnesota sports team.
That's
wins
true.
from the Twins, Wild, and Timberwolves. Minnesota fans are so up.
The way Colorado sports fans talk about the Nuggets on Twitter, I thought they were going to cakewalk to the NBA final. I thought Nikola Jokic was just God incarnate. Apparently not.
Cash Patel's a hockey guy.
Nope, that's not.
Also, they did this without Anthony Edwards, by the way. Anthony Edwards hurt his knee, and he's out for a little bit.
Girthy Bettman says the last 4 Cup champs eliminated Oilers in their runs. Ducks winning it all. Famously, that is true. Golden Knights in that second round. Eric Ripperson says, tonight's slate is going to be a pre-bachelor party grocery store run. Go Bees. Oh, yeah, it is a good slate. Bart the Battalion says, who up Mac and their Celebrinis? Sharks will now pick 19th or 20th thanks to the Oilers elimination. McDavid on the Sharks will hit like crack in 2 years. Ryan Howard would take issue with that. Nellie Lundstrom says, Ryan Howard from The Office, when he gets mad that Pam says something is like crack. Nellie says, Holy fucking fuck, that body of yours is absurd. Still a generational banger. Thank you, Adam Levine.
Cash Patel's a hockey guy.
Fuck. My bad. It's my bad.
Generational embarrassing cheater, Adam Levine. Valeria says, I forgot to put the message, LOL. Anyway, DJ, I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Goober says Maroon 5 brought visions off the dirty heads. Burned Oils says, because the super chats were taken off because I went too hard on DJ Bean, I'll be mindful of how fragile he is and be softer on him.
That's not why the super chats were gone.
Thanks for the
super
money,
chats-
Burned Oils.
Yeah, for real. Thank you for your donation and being completely incorrect. That's not why the super chats went away. Steffa says, woke up to Zayn canceling his U.S. tour, typical, so I am also in misery. Oh, yeah. Sorry for your misery.
Why do you cancel his tour?
He said...
I'm joking.
Nellie Lundstrom says, oh yeah, happy International Workers' Day, sharing the wealth to those who need it most. Right on.
Thank you, Nellie.
Support labor. Pro-union.
Barthez Battalion says, Oilers, hardly know her. McDavid, probably.
Soon.
Burn. Catherine says, another new hockey fan here from Heated Rivalry Pipeline. Let's go Bruins.
Hope you have
Absolutely.
a bad night, Catherine. Hope you have a bad
Pipeline.
night.
That's what we'll do. So we're not.
Pipeline.
Then we'll be making the real money we should be making, not throwing it away on shipping costs.
Why don't I own this here?
Stacey Faye writes, sorry for your loss, LOL.
No problem.
That's a
so
deep cut.
good.
Yeah.
That's like
Sorry
that's
for
like a
your
season
loss,
one cut.
LOL. That is a reference to my mom signing a funeral
Condolences
card.
Yeah.
What was the story behind that?
It was like
It was 101.
101. They lived to 101.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like,
101
sorry for your
exclamation
loss. LOL.
That's so good. What a pull.
Yep.
Great job, Stacey Faye. Bengoria says, nurse for Orlov, let Edmonton fix Orlov. If there's anything that I believe in, it's that the Edmonton Oilers can fix Dmitry Orlov.
I mean, they fixed John Klingberg, who famously got unfixed in a hurry.
unfixed. Renee Maldonado
Snip, snap.
says McDavid will sign with LA because of Cody Ceci.
Who says no?
That's right. Shearer says McDavid to Philly? Question mark.
I mean, famously played in Erie.
A
Famously-
friendly reminder that the closest geographic NHL team to his Erie Otters is the Buffalo Sabres.
Really?
Yes.
I'm
I think it's pretty.
joking.
It might be a little kind of like equidistant between Pittsburgh and Buffalo, but it is.
It
like,
might be equidistant, but it's the closest.
but it
Ty
is
goes
definitely.
to the Sabres.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's closer to Buffalo.
Nellie Lundstrom says the ginger hair would look great in teal, just saying. I mean, if we're talking about ginger hair,
Tell
it's
it to-
got to be the Flyers. The Flyers have like a absolute monopoly on red-haired players and have for years. Shout out Cam York. Luxury Trash says McDry should abandon their bad managers and play with the generational talent making waves on Long Island. They won't even have to change colors. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Stephanie Mills, go Petey go, let them have it. That's right. There's so much P support in the chat today. I loved it. Jose on the air. Lindy Ruff is officially a Jack Adams finalist. Who are the other two? Can we do a numbers
Dan
crunch there?
Hughes and John Cooper.
Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephanie Mills says, like Spike for my tea spilling king Petey. Absolutely. Agnes, go wild, go Timberwolves. Right on. Minnesota's so up.
Remember
Catwallzilla.
the really freaky Brazilian Timberwolves Twitter account that had to get shut down?
Did not know what that's about.
Oh yeah, like the Timberwolves had like a unofficial, official Brazilian Twitter account, and they got freaky on there.
Like,
They would do
in what
some
way?
real, like freaky, like in the way that freaky normally means, and it was like a little bit of we might have to shut this shit down. I'll see if I can number crunch some details.
Were they like Anthonying their Edwards on
Kind of.
Maine or what?
I think it was. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was. I just remember them being like, yeah, freaky.
Okay.
And, shut that shit down.
Catwallzilla. Alina Mueller had 2 points last night. What chaos effect? Please have her on again next week? Question mark. She's locked in for the playoffs. I think that the chaos bump has a multi-game effect, so we're good there.
Yeah.
Joss Coletti says this is Fave Freaks and Divas Pod. Thanks, Jocks. Love y'all. Coming on the heels of more freak chat that was following that. Go on, Sean.
Just their Timberwolves Brazil has a Wikipedia page.
No way.
And it explains a little bit. It created in 2018 by Timberwolves fan Rodrigo Barbosa in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And then it says, during the 2023-24 Timberwolves season, the account became a viral phenomenon, attracting media attention for its, quote, unhinged, disturbing, and sometimes fetishistic and extremely NSFW posts.
Damn. What's his handle? I gotta check it out.
I don't know if it's still around. I think it's just T-Wolves Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
big. That's disgusting. Where do I find it? Behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
Annika says, DJ, please put Sean's carousel to I ain't worried.
I've got a plan. Don't worry. Don't you worry. It's a great suggestion. There's a plan here.
Sean, can we scroll down?
Hey, I'm locked in on this Wikipedia page.
Jose on the air. Sean walks into Sabres versus Habs game 3 at Bell Center.
So it says Centre Bell.
Doing what wrestling entrance? Beth Phoenix or Daniel Garcia for Buffalo or Maurice for Montreal? I don't know what any of those.
I don't really know their entrances. If I'm doing a wrestling entrance right now, it's the Obafemi entrance. I want the whole crowd chanting my name.
The David Carlson, who had an unbelievable birthday, says best birthday ever yesterday. Let's go Ducks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, David.
People forget only one person on this show liked the John Carlson trade for you guys. Okay, David Carlson? I like them getting your brother. Everyone else said it was stupid. Now look how happy I am.
Maxentius Decimus. Bouchard for Norris. His turnovers are legendary. Agnes says Minnesota Century. Wild are winning the cup. Trust. Cooch Chaos. If Tampa gets knocked out first round, what do you think of trading McDavid for Hagel, Point, Geeky, and some picks? Both teams would benefit from a refresh.
I mean, I've been doing a little Bruinsifying of these teams that might do some stuff. Like in my brain, I was cooking up some like Charlie McAvoy, Jason Robertson kind of crazy stuff. I'd like to see the Bruins get involved, make a hockey trade with one of these teams just for entertainment purposes.
All right. I don't like the McAvoy of it all because then who's your most trustworthy defenseman?
Henry Jokiharju.
No, thank you. Michael Jackson soundboard when? Perfect for fails, says Jan Deere. We've got soundboard plans, I think. A West Wind says, I was so excited about the Wild winning that I immediately FaceTimed the only person I know who watches hockey, my dad, who cheated on my mom. Bad behavior on my part for sure, but go Wild. All right. That's... Maybe save that for your therapist.
We don't know their relationship, and hopefully he's... hopefully everybody is okay, and... Your mom sounds like a very strong person.
I hope that your mom doesn't listen to the show. Amanda Grace W. says, I am so excited for the HBO Girls chat and Sabrina Carpenter chat on Patreon. Go Sabres. Everything except that last part. Patreon.com/whatchaos.
Literally only that last part. I don't know what's going on with any of the other stuff.
That part. Okay. Love you so much. Or okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As
he says that part a couple times too at one point.
What's that?
He says that part repeatedly at one point.
No, he says like that part. Boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a song. Michael Jackson drop. I love this song. Okay.
Also, when this Brazil Timberwolves account really popped off, there was like a GIF they posted of like a wolf eating these things, like deep throating these other animals and eating them whole. And the actual Timberwolves account had quote tweet it being like, what the fuck is going on here? And Celtics player and former friend of mine, Syracuse University graduate O'Shea Brissett, at one point tweeted, it was like, you can't let them keep getting away with this. So it was very much a thing.
Interesting. I was trying to look up the song that Michael Jackson's talking about in the famous I Love This Song meme it's like a very funny song for it to be. I think it was like it It was maybe like, I don't think it was. It was something like "Fuck You" by Bruno Mars, or not Bruno Mars. He wrote it by like CeeLo. Chat, if you know what song he was talking about, I'll look it up before we do the Patreon episode, and then we're gonna do a Patreon episode, and that will be available for you. What's that, Sean?
Do I pronounce that animal weirdly?
What did you say?
Wolf?
Wolf?
A wolf?
A woof? Yeah, you definitely
A
pronounce
wolf.
that weird.
Oh, I've heard people say that.
Do I not?
wolf?
I just don't have enough L in there.
Oh, yeah, it's wolf.
It's a wolf.
That's
a wolf.
crazy.
Wolf. No, I say wolf.
Chat saying you said woof.
The
Wolf.
the
Wolf.
It's a wolf.
the wolf.
I guess I
of
kind of like
Wall
I
Street.
swallow the L a little bit. I don't say wolf.
The wolf of Wall
Say
Street.
wolf.
Yes, the song was "It Wasn't Me" by Shaggy.
I mean, I also
Speaking
love that song.
of cheating,
I love that song.
yeah, Shaggy was performing "It Wasn't Me," and Michael Jackson was in the audience and was like, "I love this."
I also love the white kid on Instagram who gets drunk at karaoke and just does that song once a week, basically, and nails the Shaggy part to a T. And it is incredible to watch.
Terrific. Oh, recommended viewing, by the way, folks. Jack Tucker has a special out on YouTube, I think, and it is extremely well produced. And if you do not know Jack Tucker, he's the world's worst comedian, and it is a fucking headache to watch. It is so good.
Intentionally the world's worst comedian.
Yeah, like I think that's how he's like billed though. Like when like they sell tickets or whatever, it's like Jack Tucker, the world's worst comedian. He just riffs the whole time, gets through maybe a joke or two, and it is astonishing how long he will be stuck on one joke, talking the entire time so fast with sound effects, with props, with injuring himself. It is the most it hurts. I laugh so hard watching it.
It is funny because we talked about the online show Are You Okay? Like last week, and then a day later he was on it. And
Yeah.
he was talking about like how baseball is the gayest sport because it's just got like a bunch of like.
I think he says like it's just like a bunch of Dominicans.
No, he said like there's a bunch of like fat assed Midwesterners and juicy Dominicans.
Yes, that's what he says.
And then the next question was, did you play any sports growing up? And he was like, yeah, baseball.
Yeah, someone says Jack Tucker of the Baha Men bit.
Yes.
The same one. Very funny. If you ever get the opportunity, go see him.
Actual hockey thing real quick. Our boy, Michael Kesselring, is dangerously close to being freed. Logan Stanley's a game time decision. He's been sick the last few days, and Kesselring has been filling in for him. So,
As a Bruins fan, I don't like that.
Michael Kesselring game time decision.
Tim
I'm
Kess.
worried. As much as I am maybe not the biggest Logan Stanley fan, I'm worried about what kind of bullshit Nikita Zadorov might be on if there's not another man his size on the ice. But that might be a good thing for the Sabres.
I gotta say, I'm never not gonna like Nikita Zadorov. I've seen stuff like people sharing his quotes and everything, and be like, "Oh God, if you see what a piece of shit." I'm like, I've never learned anything from Nikita Zadorov, anything new about him since he's gotten to Boston. Like he stays
He's
what
the same
he
guy, yeah.
is.
He is.
So we're not getting new information on Nikita Zadorov. He is that fucking guy. All right, appreciate you. Catch us on Patreon and also tonight after the game on YouTube. Love you. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.